Kel, and this one-day workshop on understanding criminal behavior is going to be led by stalwart of the India like Dr. Subra Sanyal ma'am, Dr. Sardar Prasad sir, Dr. Asap Srivastava ma'am. And with their blessing, we are going to learn a few different things in this today's workshop. So I request my co-host Afrin to formally start this workshop by introducing the objective and other things so that we can invite the speaker as per the schedule. Thank you so much, Subra ma'am. Thank you so much, Shada sir, for accepting the invitation and joining this workshop. And thank you, Asa ma'am. Over to you.
Thank you to all of you, and thank you, Dr. Ranjit, for giving me the opportunity to explain my skill. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining this beautiful afternoon, I would say. And with this, let's start this one-day workshop. So once again, everyone, very good afternoon. And it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to this one-day workshop on understanding criminal behavior with the help of the criminal propensity scale. So on the behalf of the organizing team, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all the experts who have joined, the Subra ma'am, Shada sir, Asha ma'am, Ranjit sir, who have joined to deliver and discuss with you all about the understanding of the criminal behavior, and obviously all the participants, students and professionals who had joined us today. Your presence actually reflects a shared commitment to deepening our understanding of criminal behavior and the scientific method used to assess and interpret it. So in the field of forensic science and criminology, understanding my individuals engage in criminal activities is essential for effective prevention, investigation, and rehabilitation. So tools such as the criminal propensity scale provide valuable insights into the behavioral tendencies, risk assessments, and psychological patterns that contribute to the criminal conducts. So today's workshop aims to create a platform for the learning, discussion, and knowledge exchange. So through expert guidance and interactive session, we hope you all gain practical insight into the application of behavioral assessments tool and their significance in the modern forensics and criminal justice system. So I would encourage everyone to actively participate and ask questions. And once again, I warmly welcome to you all and wish you a productive and engaging, insightful workshop. With this, let me give you an introduction about the SIFS India, Sherlock Institute of Forensic Science India, which was being set up in 2006 with a mission to make forensic education available to all, you can say, with the vision to make India a crime-free place to live by creating a skilled workforce of forensic experts. So as an organization which has been working into the field of the forensic science from past 2 decades, has been efficiently trying to make a platform for the students who want to explore more into the field of the forensic science, criminal investigation, and everything. So the institute basically organizes many conferences, workshops with a goal for sharing recent advancements and research and happening around the world with the students and professionals to boost their knowledge and moral. Forensic science has been growing significantly over the past few decades, and the essential demand for the progress has been met with the bright young minds putting their extensive efforts into the advancement in the field. So with this, I would like to give you a highlight about the workshop as well. So this is a one-day workshop on understanding criminal behavior with the help of the criminal propensity scale. So the aim is to provide the participants with the practical knowledge and insights into the analyzing patterns of the criminal behavior. So here in today's workshop, the concept of the criminal propensity scale and its role in assessing behavior tendency associated with the criminal activities will be introduced to you all. And through this interactive discussions, experts' insights, case-based learning, participants will definitely get an opportunity to explore how behavioral assessments tool can support forensic investigation and offender profiling. So this workshop will also highlight the psychological and behavioral factors influence criminal action and how structured and analytical methods helps an investigator better interpret such patterns. So this session is particularly beneficial for the students, researchers, professionals, like many other who are into the field of the criminal investigations and who are into the field of the criminal behavior, okay, and will help them to understand how scientific approaches contribute to the modern investigative approach. And with this, I would take the permission to introduce our all expert speakers who are there for the today's workshop. So we have with us Dr. Subra Sanyal ma'am, who is a retired senior reader from LNJP NICFS New Delhi. We have with us Sri Sharda Prasad sir, who is a former director of NICFS MHA Delhi. We'll be having Professor Dr. Asha Srivastava ma'am, who is a professor and dean, School of Behavioral Forensics, National Forensic Science University. We will be having, obviously, with us, we have right now Dr. Ranjit Singh also, sir, who is the director of the CIFS India. So, with the permission of everyone, I would like to invite our first speaker. Can we proceed ahead, sir? Ma'am?
Yes, please.
So we have with us as the first speaker, Dr. Subra Sanyal ma'am, the retired senior reader who is in LNGP in NICFS New Delhi. Ma'am will be talking on explaining criminal behavior through the criminal propensity scale. So without delaying it, ma'am, the session is over to you. Subra ma'am. Shubhra ma'am, can you hear me? Subra ma'am, can you hear me? So I'll be just taking a moment to connect with ma'am to join back.
Till the ma'am is starting the session, I request sir to give some. Sir, I request you to kindly give the opening remark about this workshop.
Hello, I'm not able to listen. What did you say?
Sir, I'm just requesting you to give some opening remark till the Subra ma'am.
Okay, certainly. See,
to
firstly, I'm grateful to you and to the organization for calling me for this workshop. And this sometimes I would say that you see, we read so much in the books, but on ground, we get too much rigid about things. So when we see a person who is involved in crime or a victim of crime, then we have certain basic our own ideas about the person. Now, this is not what is required. So that's why in-depth knowledge about what is crime, what is criminal, what is criminality, these things are very important and they have a relevance to the thing. In fact, Dr. Shubhra Sanyal will be explaining to us about criminal propensity scale, which I think she came out with in 2018 and it has been well accepted in the community and it has really been found very useful because it's used for assessing people who have not yet become full-time criminal and still with the help of this criminal propensity scale certain ideas can be obtained about it. So it will be very helpful and to the people who have not yet got the adult age, they are still juvenile. To them, it is very useful and it gives us a, I would say, a scope for improving them because we can take preventive measures and we can take other rehabilitative measures for improving things when we apply this scale. I would leave it to Dr. Shubhra Sanyal ma'am to explain in detail because I had seen it when it was being made. So I consider myself to be party to this propensity scale, though it has been, I would say, now well accepted all over the community. So with this, may I request Dr. Subra Sanyal to speak kindly on it. In case there is a issue, then I can start and then she can take over after I finish. I will take about 20 minutes of my speaking.
Sir, we are trying to.
Such a joy. So nice. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I think we can start with you, sir.
Pardon me?
Afrin, I can start with the sir.
Okay, fine,
Because
sir.
ma'am is joined.
Yes, sir. We'll start with Shada Prasad, sir.
ठीक ठीक है. Then I speak on what I have proposed to speak.
Sir, just
And in fact, that will be, I would say, godsend opportunity, because Dr. Shubhra Sanyal's work is quite in-depth work, and it really requires certain background to understand her works. So I propose to provide that background in which that can be understood. Okay, so we start with whatever I have to say.
Sir,
Yes.
excuse me, sir. So I'll take a moment to introduce you first, and then we
Sure.
can continue with the session. So, due to a small technical glitch that ma'am is having, so we'll be continuing her session after Sharda Prasad sir's session. So, sir will be talking on criminality. Is it contextual or absolute? So, with this, I take an opportunity to introduce you all the Sharda Prasad sir, who is a retired director, General of Civil Defense and Home Guards, Assam, and a retired IPS officer. Sir has also served as the Director of National Institute of Criminology and Forensic Science, Director of the National Crime Records Bureau, and officiating Commissioner of BCAS, New Delhi. During Sir's distinguished career, Sir held a key position as the Director General of Police Anti-Corruption and Vigilance, Additional Director General of Police in CID and Special Branch, and IGP Law and Order in Meghalaya. Sir is the author of Aviation Security, the third edition, and played a key role in establishing airline and airport security programs in India. Sir has handled aircraft hijack incidents and inspected airports across India and abroad. Sir has also contributed to academics, introduced PG courses at NICFS, and assisted central committees in drafting laws, private securities, criminal justice, and policing reforms. Sir is enrolled as an advocate with the Delhi Bar Council and Supreme Court Bar Association, providing legal assistance to women and the underprivileged. So with this, I welcome you, Sharda Prasad, sir, and now the session is over. To you.
Thank you. So we begin with the very basics. My idea of explaining the basics is that while there are a large number of books on the subject of criminology and law, but then ultimately we are to deal with human beings. And human beings it's a quite a sensitive machine, I must say, and we can't treat it like a file. So we must have a very good understanding how to handle people. So three things come to my mind immediately. One is, what is crime? Second, what is a criminal or who is a criminal? And third is, what is criminality? These three things come to my mind. The most important, the first basic thing is about the crime itself. Now, point is that what do we mean by when we say crime? Obviously, crime means it is an act which is declared illegal, as well as it is declared punishable under the applicable law. What does it mean? Applicable law means what? That means at different point of time, a different set of people, a different geography, different laws could be applicable. And certain things would be applicable to my country, my people, and certain things will be applicable to someone else. So the crime itself has a relation to the time as well as place and the geography. So I will give you an example. For example, certain centuries back, Sati Pratha was not punishable. It was abhorrent act, no doubt. People condemned it. Most of the people condemned it. But there were people who supported it. And Sati Pratha was continuing. Then a certain point of time, social reformers came. The British government took note of that. And Sati Pratha was banned by introducing a legal framework. So once legal framework was introduced, the Sati Pratha was banned. So it became a crime. So it became a crime only, say, not more than, say, 200 or 300 years back. Before that, it was not a crime. So it has a context to the time. Now, secondly, suppose we have a crime which has been declared so in Uttar Pradesh, but it's possible that it is not declared a crime in some other state. Think of live-in relationship. A live-in relationship without following the regulations, without abiding by the rules, is a crime in Uttarakhand. But still there are no such provisions in the neighboring Uttar Pradesh. So it's yet not declared a crime there. So a crime has a context of the geography also. So this is how we have to understand. So we cannot really say that if this particular thing is a crime, it is crime everywhere. Take a common thing. We speaking lies. I confess that all of us speak lies. Some day or the other, at least to the parents or the teacher, we all must have spoken lies. Now, speaking lies is not a punishable act under the Indian law, but it's a moral wrong. And we always are told that God will punish us for speaking lies. But do you know that if you are speaking lies, then in court you are liable for perjury. And proceedings under the 340 of old criminal procedure code can be instituted against you for speaking lies on oath. So such a simple thing also, it has a certain context in which it is there. Next issue is that what do we understand by the word criminal? Obviously, once again, a person who has committed a crime can be considered a criminal. But is it so? It is really that everyone who commits a crime can be considered a criminal? So we have to examine it very, very carefully. For example, we don't intend to brand all lawbreakers as criminals. Is it? I think I am right that simply because you have broken a law does not mean that you are a criminal. Then what they are? They could be offender. So the use of word criminal then it indicates that there is some perverse or unapproved tendency which is prevailing, because of which the person has been called a criminal. Suppose I am driving my car and I am violating a rule under Motor Vehicle Act. Say I am jumping the red light. Obviously, I have committed an offense. It's punishable under the law. But really, can we say that we are a criminal? No. So obviously, there is something more to a crime to declare yourself as a criminal. Simply because I have committed a crime does not mean that I can be branded as a criminal. Okay? But suppose the same car, I use it for overrunning a person deliberately so as to kill him. Then what will happen? Then obviously, since I have the mens rea, I will be considered a criminal. So difference is largely that of guilty mind. It is in this context that the offense committed by the young children, suppose the child is below 7 years of age, then it's not considered a crime. And even in the slightly younger people, say young offenders, we consider them as a class differently from the adults. Why? For the same reason, because the mind is still not matured to consider them as criminal. Still, it's the age in which we would like them to be identified and let me say rehabilitated or treated or counseled, whatever is required. Then in this context, then we understanding the crime and the criminal, then we say about the criminality. So obviously it is an attribute of the noun criminal, but it is a bunch of those tendencies or acts which refer to the behavior and activities in violation of criminal law. Now, one interesting observation. Now, suppose I am a company, I am a corporate. Can I also not violate the law? Yes, I can violate the law. I can commit a crime also. And if I am committing a crime, then do I be labeled as a criminal? So there is an issue there. And in Indian law, what we do, that body corporate gets punishment by fine, and the members of that body corporate, say board of director, secretary, and the chief executive officer, they are getting the fine as well as punishment of imprisonment. Both can be given to them. So it should be understood, in many countries, corporate bodies cannot be punished, members cannot be punished that way unless they are individually liable. In this context, suppose I would like to cite the case of Bhopal gas tragedy. In Bhopal gas tragedy, if you remember, a large number of people had died and number of people have been injured and maimed, and even the children born after that also suffered from, let me say, gas injuries. So the person concerned, the chief executive officer of the company, was held but released, and later on Supreme Court agreed to create a corpus with the help of the company and absolve the company of any wrongdoing. Please understand that under the Indian law, the Supreme Court is competent to settle a case under Article 142 of the Indian Constitution. So they settled the case and absolved the company from liability of all such things after they created a corpus and contributed the amount for the rehabilitation of the people. I would be liking that elements of criminality could be better understood if you examine the facts like social control. To elaborate, can we not examine why an individual does not take to crime in spite of presence of so-called supportive factors? What are these supportive factors? If you talk to the experts in sociology, many will say that factors like poverty, lack of education, company of antisocials, they contribute to creation of delinquents and subsequently criminals. But you realize that in the same situation, certain people do not turn out to be criminals. They come out to be normal people. So is it something called self-control or some other type of control, say family pressure or social status, social norms? They get more important to the individual and then they do not turn out to be criminal. So this aspect, social control aspect, has been studied in sociology for a pretty long, and I would suggest that our students, those who are into this branch, they must study in detail about various factors which result in a person becoming criminal. Now, another is that what do we do with the organized gangs or mafias or syndicate? Do they also have criminality? Point is that they are into a business, and in this business they have calculated that with this much of criminal act, what will be the profits and what will be the losses. Some losses may also be there. Just a minute. I'll call you later. I was in a meeting. Yes. So organized gangs, they are operating not for really criminal activity, but they are operating for profits. But acts are criminals. So we have to think about criminality in terms of organized gangs also. Now, coming to the topic of today, as we know that it's a very interesting topic, and understanding criminality is very important, and I would request that we devote our time and attention to Madam Dr. Subra Sainial's speech, and then raise questions as well on not only on the scale itself, but we will be interested to know about her, you can say, view on the criminality itself. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And you have always been my support, even in an ICFS. I remember that we started the MA/MSc Criminology and Forensic Science. You were all with me, and that is how we were successful in doing it, sir. And here again, you have already put words in my mouth. I know from where to start, and you have given me a very good framework. Thank you, sir, once again. Thank you. So can I start?
Ma'am, I'll be taking a moment. Just give me a second. So first of all, I would thank Shada Prasad sir for talking on criminality. Is it contextual or absolute thing? And definitely, sir, as you have talked in the session, I would also say that like people need to know about this field, these things, and understand more about this one. So with this, I would like to present you the certificate of appreciation. SIFS India expresses its gratitude to Shada Prasad sir in grateful recognition of their invaluable contribution as a speaker at a one-day workshop on understanding criminal behavior with the help of the criminal propensity scale. So I would request you to kindly accept this e-certificate, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And thank you so much, sir. With this, we are proceeding ahead with our next speaker talk. Dr. Subra Sainial ma'am, who is a retired senior reader from LNJP and ICFS. Ma'am will be talking on explaining criminal behavior through criminal propensity scale. So I would take an opportunity to introduce ma'am. Ma'am is a retired senior reader at National Institute of Criminology and Forensic Science and ICFS MHA, New Delhi, and a former counselor OHB, Kingsway Camp, New Delhi. Ma'am has begun her academic career in 1973 at Isabel Thorburn College, Lucknow, and later joined the Jail Officer Training Institute, Lucknow. In 1984, she became a faculty member at the National Institute of Criminology and Forensic Science, where she served until 2006 as a senior reader. Throughout her distinguished career, she has worked as a trainer, researcher, consultant, and counselor, focusing on areas such as drug abuse, child abuse, and addictive behavior. Ma'am has trained students, counselors, social workers, and senior members to the criminal justice system. Ma'am is also the author of important books, including Save Your Child, Female Criminals in India, and Counseling in the Workshop. Ma'am has represented internationally, leading the Indian delegation at SAARC conference, a conference on media and drug abuse in Pakistan in 1988, and participating in the SAARC conference in New Delhi in 1990. She has received prestigious award in the field of criminology and has recently been recognized as a woman achiever for her outstanding contribution to the criminal psychology. With this, I just hand over the session to you, Subra Sainial ma'am.
Thank you very much, Jaya. And thank you to all for bearing with me, because I am maybe an expert in criminal psychology, but not an expert in computer. So thank you very much for being with me. And I once again thank you, Shada Prasad ji, for being so supportive. And Jaya also for you. So I start with the thing, and I think people are there. First and foremost, being a criminal psychologist, you have given me 40 minutes time, Jaya. So let me start as how I developed the interest in criminal psychology. While teaching jail officers, I started my career, as doing my doctorate in female criminals in India. And having no idea of criminology, when I used to go and sit in their midst, that is the best methodology I applied. And I went on talking to them. Many I found didn't even know why they were inside the jail. Even they didn't know why they were framed. And those who were really criminals, they were changing. That is the female criminals, where no study was done in the year 1974, and then I started my work. What changed me was that all people behind bars were not really criminals. Many were victims of situations. Many were, those who must have gone into a fight, domestic violence or something like that, and family members have framed them as criminals and put them inside the prison. That was on those days, where there was no such thing as defense for these people. And I fought for many of them. So that changed my mind. And I started feeling that all are not criminals. Simply cannot frame a person to be a criminal. And therefore, I started this criminal propensity scale since 1974. And I want you all who are listening to me to understand the dynamics of and to therefore interpret accordingly when you're doing a research. Number one, basic certain things I want to say very quickly. That an act that is done, there is an actor and acted. Similarly, in crime, there is always an offender and a victim. I have learned and I have explained and I have so said in my research that criminal behavior is a learned behavior. Just like any behavior is learned by a child in the early age of his infancy, criminal behavior is also learned in the social environment which exists. And that behavior gets conditioned. Please remember, as I punctuate the word, that criminal behavior gets conditioned when he is not being punished. Rather, he is being reinforced, he is being ignored, and he continues. It's simply like stealing from the school, a pencil, a pen, a rubber, a book, and he is being overlooked by his parents that he is doing that. That then later goes into a magnifying crime. So I repeat once again that every criminal behavior is a learned behavior like any other behavior, and is a conditioned behavior. Why? Because no one is checking and no one ignoring. Therefore, who is responsible? The home environment. Further, I tell you that as if a person learns in the home environment, what he does, this is known as cognitive theory, that he observes his parents. Observation starts. Now, here the parents, instead of establishing moral values, so today you find every paper speaks of rise in crime by the juveniles, and try to understand where it starts. It starts at home. Children are just not understanding anything, they're just watching their parents quarreling, abusing, fighting, and any words. That is the thing the child observes, imitates, and adapts. So, as Sharda Prasadji said, that in a house, all are not criminal, right? A child, when he's absorbing and he's adopting and he's understanding that violence is the only factor, telling lies is the factor, fighting are the factors, these get inborn, as a psychologist, I say, in the instinctual drive, the formative stage of personality of the child. Now, here I quote to you Dr. Abrahamson, a very known psychologist. Dr. Abrahamson, if you people can note down in the form on your copy notes, that he gave a formula, the equation of crime. He said, instinctual drive, controlled by social ego, self-knowing, awareness, and into the given situation. And I'll quote a situation here, a simple quotation that Sutherland said, that there is an ice cream stand, two boys of the same age are standing there with the equal need to have an ice cream. We learned all these criminologists in the basics of our criminology. And he said that one boy, when he sees a criminal, that ice cream man is not coming, he puts his hand in the box, takes out the ice cream, moves away. Now the other boy remains standing. When the ice cream man comes, he gives the money, takes the ice cream and goes. Now you see the difference. This is known as differential association theory. Now here the boy who took the ice cream and went away, if he is not being checked, not being controlled, not being curbed and punished, he will repeat it over and over. This is how the criminal behavior is learned. That's the basic I want to tell you. Therefore, Abrahamson said the id is an instinctual drive. Id is the one which is full of frustration, aggression, anger, and ego, the social self. If it is very well built in the formative stage with moral values, it controls the id. So any given situation, even if it is criminal prone, the man or the boy will not commit the crime. That is the difference we have to understand. Because the personality is the building force of any individual's behavior. Personality determines the attitude, the emotions, and the feelings and ideas of a person. Now, if the personality in the early stage starts breaking, then how can you expect a child to lead a normal life? He has stored in himself frustration, aggression, anger, rivalry. There it is. Now, before I ask Jaya to show you the paradigm on the basis of which criminal propensity scale is built, let me speak a few more words.
I'll be just
Jaya, let me explain a little further. What I was trying to say, I will tell you certain instances, as a case-based discussion. But what I was trying to say, one thing, please keep in note, any theories that you are talking of, whether it is a psychosociological theory, biological theory, ecological theory, economic theory, all theories correlate to one point. And that point is that crime and criminal act are interrelated. Likewise, victim-offender relationship is always intrinsic. Please remember, today in the modern technology, modern development, we are fed up with cybercrimes and frauds and scams. They are also related because the offender knows whom he is targeting. The victim doesn't know the offender, but there is a relationship. Cybercrime, you will find that targets whom? The vulnerable women, the children, the girls, and the elderly people. And now they are attacking the corporate sectors and businesses, enticing them to enter into schemes and plans for better returns. This is greed. Greed, ignorance, and desire to earn more money, desire to become rich. These are all trapping and falling into these witty, intelligent cyber criminals. So, I will just, when I talk on the scale, I tell you basically what I wanted to share with you all, that personality of the criminal, personality of the victim, they both underline the criminal propensity scale. Criminal propensity scale speaks about the dynamics of traits which will determine the type of criminal act one does. It determines the pattern of crime is committed. It also determines the criminal who is committing the crime, how planned he's doing, or how unplanned, what type of personality possesses. Now, I'll request Jaya to show you so that, whenever you people are doing any research, you students particularly, be careful that this paradigm, this is understood. Now, yeah, this is the one. See, my CPQ scale speaks of, can you enlarge it a little, Jaya? Can you enlarge it a little? Yeah. See, on the top, the word is psychoticism. On this side, you can see a curve coming. This is extroversion. On the other side, you will find introversion. And this side, you will find neuroticism. In the middle is like an equator, emotional balance. Now, the CPQ scale, let me talk a little about the CPQ scale, how I built it up. When I was traveling throughout the country, visiting the prison, because I got the Jawaharlal Nehru Memorial Award also for adult prisoners rehabilitation. And during my tenure in Lucknow also, when I was traveling with jail officers to various prisons, I was collecting data. And then, those data were on an EPQ scale. Let me go into the basics so you'll understand how I developed the criminal propensity scale. And on the basis of that, I completed nearly 10,000 data all over India. And that data, with the help of my colleague, Dr. Venkatpalya, I adapted them in the Indian setting and standardized them. It is not as non-standardized state, with the help of internal consistent tense item analysis, and got the items adapted to the Indian setting. After developing that in the Indian setting, I went further to measure the reliability and the validity of the test in the Indian setting. Now the test is very much in vogue. Now the test being used in many universities and colleges. But first and foremost, you people must know the basics of this scale. Otherwise, the scale is likely to get misinterpreted and misunderstood. So now I start that I start with certain cases so you will understand how I'm diagnosing and how I'm doing it. First and foremost, you find recent cases, let me tell you. There are certain criminals, I won't say criminals, individuals I'll say. I won't say criminals because they are not yet being decided by the law of the land. There are certain criminals, people who have the feeling, I'm okay, you're not okay. Now, when this psychoticism, as per the scale, starts going high, and the person is very much sociable, moving in the society, talking to people, not letting know what is running in his mind, because he says, I'm okay, you're not okay. He's an extrovert, no doubt. But when the extrovert person is also developing a plan in his mind without any sense of guilt, without any regret, without any feeling that he's going wrong, he feels I'm okay, then the connection between this leads him to high psychoticism. It leads him or her to high psychoticism. Now here I'll support it with a case. Recent case has occurred of Sushma Seth, Suchitra Seth or somewhere the lady is, which is very much on the YouTube, which is very much in news, who slit her son's throat, a 2-year son's throat, and killed him, pushed him into a bag, and started traveling from Bangalore to Goa. Try to trace the case, you will understand. Now, why she did it? Because she was having a family discord with her husband. And the husband, courts, wanted to give the custody of the child to the husband. So in Bangalore hotel, she being the mother, killed the child and put the body in the bag and put the bag in the dicky, got a cab, traveled in the bag all the way from Bangalore to Goa. But what happened was, in the way it was intercepted by police, some some blood stains were found in the hotel. Police started intercepting and she was caught. I was watching the whole thing on the TV. And what I, as a psychologist, was trying to identify, there was no regret on her face. As a mother, there was no remorse, not a single tear. And she was arrested. Even when she was asked, she was not cooperating with the police. Now, in my mind, you may disagree with me. This type of lady has no regret, no remorse. She has no sense of guilt. If given an opportunity, she'll do it again. She is now in my term, a psychotic. And we term her as a primary psychopath. Mental disorder is there. Disruption of emotions are there. Rejection is there. Hatred towards her husband and towards her child are there. So a person with this title traits requires medical treatment and does not believe in any drug. And mind you, one thing more. In the beginning, in the past years, we always used to relate crime to poverty, as Sardar Prasadji said. Poverty, illiteracy, slum areas, poor economic conditions. No. Now you see the pattern of crime has changed. Crime is now not being holden up by these areas. Crime is going beyond boundaries, like cybercrime. Today, most crimes are committed by people like CEOs, highly educated people who present big committees. They are doing it. Why so? Why? Because they have a hold in the society. They feel they can do it. Their emotions are unlike normal behavior. The moral behavior is to their need, not the moral behavior of uniformity, not the moral behavior of generosity, not the behavior of gratitude and thankfulness. They say, I am okay. As long as I am okay goes on, regret won't come. So a mother can kill her own son and move all the way to throw the body away, has she not been caught. So that is one category I want to talk of. Second category I have all in down here, we talk of terrorists. I had got a chance of meeting, some people, they were not terrorists really. Even a lot of Kashmiri Pandits were getting exodus from Kashmir and they settled in Timarpur, Tilakpur, and Delhi. I was talking to them, and I found they had blurred perception of these people who were terrorizing in Kashmir. They said, no, they are frustrated youth. They were told to do. People are somewhere else. The perception was different. Now, in this case, when we have cross-border terrorism, or when the Red Fort wala jo hua abhi, here you will find a second group of people. They are extroverts once again, as per my paradigm. And they are psychotics also, but not psychopaths, mind you. They are very focus based, they know their goals, they know their directions, and they are close to their ideology. They work in group in unison. And therefore, they again have no sense of guilt, no regret, no remorse. They can do it. They can stand and do it, throw the bomb, see the people guilt, and move away. There's one thing more I want to share with you. There's people who are psychotics and extroverts, they leave the clues behind and go away, unlike the introverts and the neurotics. So keep in mind that when you people are doing research or when you're studying my criminal propensity, you have to do categorization of various criminals, their patterns of crime, their modus operandi, their style, and the clues. I think forensic scientists will agree with me, the clues they leave behind. So now I next move, Jaya, can I move on to my paradigm? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
I continue. Now, again, I'll tell you another case, and I'll go case-wise. A recent example happened. In the newspaper only I picked up. Otherwise, I have too many cases, but the time will not allow me. A mother with three children, I think in one of the villages of UP. She jumped into the well, committed suicide, right? Now, why did the mother, she could have herself jumped, why with the three children, the three girls? She complained to her father, and getting no assistance anywhere, she took this desperate step because she was not only poor, she was illiterate, desperate, forsaken, and she was harassed by her in-laws because she has given birth to three girls and they wanted a son. So to get rid of that, she was so highly frustrated. देखो frustration में भी aggression होता है. Aggression coveted way में आता है. Disappointing desperation में आता है. These are all emotional standards, emotional patterns. She became desperate, frustrated, insecure, and had no other option but to kill herself and the children. Now, इनको आप कहाँ पे लेबल करेंगे? इनको आप लेबल करेंगे in the introverts. She could have gone away with the children somewhere else, but she said, no, let me finish up. She's an introvert personality who hardly shares anything with others. She shared it only with her father, and she moved away. So, इनका है. Again, I'll move to another. This is my perception. This is my research. People can always differ and correct me. Let me finish, then I'll talk. Again, case I came across and I share with you. You know the case, a very famous case in Noida, the Nirankari case. Now, in the Nirankari case, what happened? The man who was killing the small children who were coming nearby, enticing them with chocolates and all from the slums, as reported, that he was killing them, eating their parts of their body, or killing them in pieces, whatever it is. And he was given a death penalty. Later, he was rescued on the basis of mental illness, that he was mentally scared. Now he is a psychiatrist problem. He was not only he was a high unit. They see the reverse of psychotism and extroversion का reversal है introversion and neuroticism. सभी के इंसान के अंदर, let me go into Hindi so people will understand. सभी इंसान के अंदर ये चार डायनेमिक्स हैं. मेरे अंदर भी है, आपके अंदर भी है, और इमोशनल बैलेंस भी है. इसीलिए मैं कहती हूँ criminal behavior is a learned behavior, and criminal tendency exists in everybody, but we control it with the help of our emotional balance. The moment it starts moving up, become very high, then we become either depressed, frustrated, alone, desperate, and even plan to commit suicide. Otherwise, if we are extrovert, we become furious, aggressive, throw things out, beat people, violence seeks it. So ये चीजें जो हैं सबके अंदर मौजूद है. Keep it in mind. Now here what happens when I'm talking about this woman who jumped into the well along with her 3 children. She was not, you can understand from my paradigm, definitely not an extrovert. She was going through the agonies of violence by her in-laws in the house for continuous period. Again, my friends, do understand, you being a psychologist if you are, there's always a limit of tolerance, patience, and resistance. At one point of time, introverts go on pondering, brooding, and goes on thinking. The point is, if I'm not okay, you're also not okay. So in this way, they go on suffering within them. And if they plan crime, I'll talk about their crimes in such a planned manner that they don't leave any clues behind. Now here there's cases of this lady who committed suicide. She didn't commit. It is again a crime, mind you, but she took it and she killed her own 3 children also. She was an introvert and a neurotic. Now I move to another case. You'll go on seeing this paradigm and keep it in mind as I explain. I came across, this was a case of illiteracy and poverty. Another case of 2 doctors. If you go, it is known as Dr. Meena. And Dr. Meena and his wife, they got married. Both were doctors, very well known. I think this is a Karnataka case, if I'm not wrong. And the wife, she had a gastric problem. So every time, she used to have some problems, vomiting and gas and all. Soon after the wedding, he discovered it. And in one party, she had this symptom. She started vomiting funny. She felt embarrassed. Now what he decided? He decided to finish her. See, he did it so carefully, so skillfully. Having his knowledge of medicine, he went on giving her injection, telling her that I'm doing your treatment. And within not even a month, she died. Later, it was diagnosed that she was given poison through injections. And this man, himself a doctor, they both were doctors. They had their own hospitals. The father-in-law gifted them a hospital and everything. He now moved away. If you see the TV, you will understand there was no regret. Again, there was no remorse. Rather, he was very happy and he was planning to marry some other girl. Later, he was caught. Now, where was he? Was he a neurotic and introvert? No. He was a psychotic. He was openly an expert who was showing away, displaying his profession, displaying himself, getting friends, and planning to marry again within no time. So, I will rate him. If I'm being given to rate him, he is a high on the, and he is again a psychopath. These people, and then come to the same case of Shraddha case. I always tell you, friends, whenever there is a crime, you have to check on the vulnerability of the victim. No crime occurs without the vulnerability. Even when these cyber scams occur, there are vulnerabilities. Even when murders occur, there is vulnerability. Now here, in the Shraddha case, the living relationship was there with the boy who killed her, made pieces of her body, stuffed it in a suitcase, and planned to throw it away. And then he went on having party with other girlfriends. Now, when I sit down deeply analyze the case, I don't know whether Asha and others will agree with me. I always feel that when she was realizing that he was not faithful to her, when he was beating and all, and she had gone and reported the matter to the police, she could have returned to her parents. But she came back to the man to get killed. And he not only killed, not only strangled her, he butchered her, put her in a bag, and no regret. Now, this is again a primary psychopath, high psychotism, high extroversion. This was not mental disorder. Nirankari case, the fellow was a mental disorder, but this was not a disorder. This was a plan, a seek of satisfaction, a desire to take revenge, and avenging anything. And what happened to Shraddha? Had she gone away, she would not have been killed so brutally. But she came back and that was a fault. So this is again a case you will find connecting to psychoticism and extroversion. Now, I have shown you about neuroticism and neuroticism. When a person, feels that he is not or she is not able to share, and she plans very closely a crime in a cool-minded manner, takes time, then a person is designed as an introvert. And he is high on neuroticism. Here again, he will say, if I'm not okay, you're also not okay. If I'm not okay, you're all not. There was a very burning case few years back in Krishnanagar in Delhi. A woman was regularly at night, was beaten by an alcoholic husband, thrown out of the house. She had 2 kids. And then one day the tolerance broke. See, I told you, you said criminal mind is not there. Definitely there is nothing called labeling, criminal mind. And neither criminal is born. It is learned. It comes. Here, she was a very good domestic wife. She was taking care of 2 children. But as I tell you, that when the intolerance comes in, when the patience breaks, and when frustration comes in, when depression, that criminal tendency sitting in the ID grows up. And this lady planned to kill him. He was a hefty man. While he was sleeping at night, she suffocated him with pillow and other things. He was heavily drunk and he died in sleep. Then she pulled his body along with a man, a guard, whom she has planned that we have to do away with him. Not that she was in love with the guard or anything. She put the body in the box and slept on the box overnight along with the 2 children. Later in the morning, she prepared the breakfast for the children, got them into school uniform, and sent them to school. Then again with that guard, she took the body out, went to her room top where the water tank was there, and she pushed the body into the water tank, which had been emptied before. Later, she couldn't go further. She started crying there. When the children came, she told her daughter, the elder one, what has happened. And she confessed to the police. She confessed everything to the police. So here she was, secondary psychopath. But then, I won't term her as a psychopath because she said, I have no guilt. I have no guilt because I was being tortured. I'm free from that monster. But what I feel is I'm losing the care of my children. Where will they go? That was the regret as a mother. So you see the difference. मैंने ये केस आपको बताया और मैंने वो केस बताया जिसने 2 साल के लड़के के गला काट के उसको बैग में डाल के डिस्पोज ऑफ करने जा रही है और यहाँ पे 2 बच्चों को स्कूल में भेज के वो रो रही है. उसने कहा मैंने किया है पर मेरे बच्चों का क्या होगा जब मैं जेल में. तो डिफरेंस आप देख रहे हैं. अब आप आइए नेक्स्ट में. अभी कल या परसों के न्यूज में था IIT, I think दिल्ली, first year, second year के child, Jaya may correct me if I'm wrong. He jumped from the balcony and committed suicide. He was studying in IIT, but he was struggling with his exams. He was undergoing depression. His mother used to stay with him in the hostel. The day mother left for her hometown for a short time, ये जंप करके सुसाइड कर लिया. अब क्या है, क्यों किया? आजकल आप देख रहे हैं कि सुसाइड हैज बिकम अ वेरी कॉमन फैक्टर. ये तो देखें, और विशेष करके बच्चों में सुसाइड हो रहा है. क्यों हो रहा है? Who is blamed to be blamed? We people are to be blamed. The society is to be blamed. The parents are to be blamed. The teachers are to be blamed. क्योंकि जब पढ़ाई प्रेशर बहुत ज्यादा होता है और डिमांड एंड एक्सपेक्टेशन बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ जाता है और बच्चे के कंधों में कहा जाता है तुम नालायक हो, तुम नालायक हो, तुम नहीं कर पा रहे हो, तो पर्टिकुलरली जो इंट्रोवर्ट बच्चा होता है वो सुसाइड करता है. जो एक्सट्रोवर्ट बच्चा होता है वो वायलेंट हो जाता है, अग्रेसिव हो जाता है, लड़ाई करता है, घर से भाग जाता है. So these are all the dynamics I'm showing on this story. And recently this happened. The mother left the place, the boy jumped out and killed himself. आज जो राइज इन क्राइम हो रहा है अमंग द जुवेनाइल्स, इसका भी वजह यही है. When a child is witnessing a broken home, either he is running away or his mind is not working in the right manner. He is filled with desperation, violence, frustration, aggression, lado, maro, because then he gets a satisfaction. ये चीजें instilled हो रहे हैं in the idea. And that is why the rise in juvenile crime. And more, I will not blame the social media. I will say the alienation that is happening between the parent and the child. The alienation that is happening between the teachers and the child. The alienation that is happening between the elders and the family members. There is no hold. As a result, children are doing that what they desire. They are seeking thrill, they are seeking sensation, they are seeking new areas, avenues where they can fulfill their skill of taking revenge. इसलिए youth may rise in crime and violence हो रहा है. They are all lying in this area of if I'm not okay, you are not okay. That is psychoticism and neuroticism. They are saying, if I'm not okay, my father, if I'm not okay, you are always saying, तो आप भी तो नहीं है. अभी मैं इस केस में भी आपको बोल रही हूँ कि एक केस अभी, and that is a burning sensation, में मैं बहुत इसको पढ़ना चाहती थी, इस बच्चे को संभालना चाहती थी, जिस समय मैं काउंसलिंग करती थी ऑब्जर्वेशन होम किड्स कैंप में. खैर उसके बाद हुआ था ये केस हरियाणा का केस है. लड़का जो है वो पढ़ाई में मैथ्स में थोड़ा कम था, 11वीं में था. And he wanted to enter into piano and all that. So he used to go to the piano class, he used to leave the maths class. The younger son was more attached, more brilliant, and the father, mother always used to tell the son, elder one, तुम इसके तरह नहीं हो, तुम नालायक हो, वो जो कैसे कर रहा है, तुम नहीं कर पा रहे हो. That developed a feeling of envy and jealousy, revenge, vendetta, जो भी कहिए आप, towards the younger one. Consequently क्या हुआ कि he displaced his emotions of anger, revenge on another child of the same age of his younger brother, pulled him into the bathroom, slit his throat, killed him, and came away from the toilet of the school, Haryana, and sat in the class as a normal person. The parents were called and they said, I know he's like that. I disowned him immediately. The moment I was given the case, I said, this, the parents who require counseling. The parents, if I would have been there, I would have really throttled them. Because the bright child, he wanted to learn piano. Why not give him the opportunity? There are so many children whose parents, they support the children, they groom the children, they bring them out. But this parent always belittled the elder one. Aaj natija kya hua? He was put in the observation home because he was treated as an adult, killing the younger thing. I don't know where he is now, but he has lost his future career. Future career gloomed ho gaya. So my friends, you have to always understand while you are studying the criminal behavior that criminal is made, not born, number one. Sometimes the victim himself or herself is the precipitator to crime. The person whom we are talking as a victim, the victim has promoted the criminal tendency in the individual who has committed the crime. An elderly man kills his wife and 2 children and plans to kill himself when he was caught. Why? Because throughout the life, the wife was tormenting him for the financial crisis and the children were not getting the love and attention. He felt blew away with the pen. तो ये चीजें हमारे अंदर है. हम लोगों को क्या करना होता है, लास्ट में जो इमोशनल बैलेंस है वहां पे हमें लाके अपने को रोकना होता है. There is one thing I want to say, because cases are there many. If you want, I can go on sharing. Homegrown terrorism के ऊपर भी मैंने काफी काम किया है, आप देखेंगे. But they are different from this group. Homegrown terrorists, they work in unison. They work with a motto. They work for ideology. They work for the right of others. But जो मैं अभी तक आपको इंडिविजुअल बोलती जा रही हूँ, they are all in the individual self. अब यहाँ पे क्या है कि जब हम देखते हैं कि एक क्राइम हो रहा है, then we must always keep in mind, is he the criminal or is the victim of the situation, circumstances? He has continuously through 30 years been provoked. So today he has killed. He is the victim. And the person who's killed is the precipitator or the promoter or the contributor to the crime. So हर समय जो है, I'm talking as a psychologist, not as a lawmaker, not as a forensic scientist, but about my mind goes whenever I see a criminal standing. Is he a criminal or is he a victim of a given circumstances? But then we must understand that this paradigm that I have done very skillfully, for years together, 15 years I spent on developing this scale. And the scale is one of its type in India and abroad also. People are using the scale. My objective is, please use it judiciously. Please use it discreetly. Please use it after studying the mind of the criminal, whether he is himself a victim or he is a hardened criminal. Now, you have to understand, again, before I close, I'll say, because I've traveled to a lot of prisons and I've very closely sat with them and spoke to them. I mentioned a case in Bhopal jail, Central Jail, Bhopal. While all used to, when I used to go, they used to come, gather around me, hear me, and they used to move away to have lunch. They used to bring something for me. There was an old man who used to sit continuously with them. 5 days I used to go there to the jail, and that man was there. He told me कि आप लोग rehabilitation की बात करते हैं. You people talk of reforms. I'm already reformed. But I'm here 14 years. I said, what have you done? He said, I killed my patidar. That means partners in property dealing, in farmland, because they killed my father and my brother, elder brother. So he said, I killed and I came back, I confessed and I was given the life imprisonment. So I said, you have changed yourself. He said, I was already changed. I took revenge. But I've learned a lot of skills here, gardening, berry making, leather making. I've done everything. I said, what profession will you adopt? He said, I'll go back to my farm and I'll do it. And my children come to meet me every day. So I am rehabilitated. So, if you get a chance of reading an article on the basis of this, I wrote an article, Pains of Imprisonment of Variant Effect. All do not need information here, already informed. But yes, when I went to Mumbai and when I went to Puri, I saw petty criminals sitting who have nowhere to go. They take shelter in the jail for certain food and all. They may be migrants, they may be laborers, they've been picked up as petty thieves. They require restoration. They require rehabilitation. So they not fall back into crime. So these are all, you put aside your theories, go into the practical pictures, and you will imagine how criminal tendency develops. Anything more? I think I've spoken a lot. Jaya? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want me to continue?
Yeah, ma'am, if you wish, and you can definitely continue. And dear participants, you can use the chat box to drop your question if you want to ask something from ma'am as well.
Okay, I share another case, Shall I continue? Now, this scale. This scale is, of course, the basis of that questionnaire, which is known as a CPQ questionnaire. It is known as the Criminal Propensity Questionnaire Scale on the basis of VPQ scale. Scale is not here. This is a paradigm which, shows where the individual lies. Now, I'm okay, no, you're not okay. The person who is highly on the psychotism, very high, unless, we are all psychotic. Sometimes we come to neuroticism, sometimes we go to psychotism. Sometimes we are extroverts in our own group, sometimes we move to introversion, we keep quiet. This is within us. But when a person sticks to high psychotism and the scores show high, at the same time is high E and high P, it is primarily psychopathic. There is a word, I'm okay, you are not okay. Then move downward. A person who is a high neurotic and high introvert, then he is a secondary psychopathic, and he says, if I'm not okay, you are also not okay. Like I quoted to you, the Haryana child. If I'm not okay, you're not okay. Often you heard, recently एक में आया, a father got a car for the son, and getting through loans and everything, and the son was not paying the loan. She must have said, now what dialogues went in between the son and the father, don't know. The son shouted, hit the father so badly that the father got injured. I don't know whether he died or not, he collapsed. Okay? Now this is due to anger, aggression, frustration. When a person is highly on psychotic and is on introversion, high on psychotism, now that is known as a third psychopathic. Now here the person says, you are okay, I'm not okay. You are okay, I'm not okay. Now here what happens, that the person surrenders. I think I'm going somewhere wrong. Just correct me. 1 minute. Please be with me. The psychotic and the introverts, they have very strong, psychotists, unlike neurotics, they have very strong ideas about themselves. They're determined about themselves. If they do some work, like the CEO, they feel that they are right. So I'm okay is plunged there. Now, in the case of psychotic and what is this introversion, hai na, Jaya? On this side, just expand it.
Yes, ma'am.
Introversion. Now here the person says, I'm okay, you're not okay. Yeah. Introvert. I'm okay, you're not. Now these are the people who are likely to commit suicide. They commit suicide. Now you have heard of IG police of Haryana who committed suicide. There are so many cases of occurring among the police people committing suicide because they work under pressure, because they go into stress. If they are not able to, manage not only the officer affairs, they're not able to share with others, they're not meeting counselors because of stigma, they decide to take their own life. They are the people who are saying, I am okay, you are not okay, to the system, to the boss and others. Now they are the ones who take their life. The suicidal tendencies are there in many people, but they don't write up. They write when they go through this duress, through frustration, through dilemma, oppression, dilemma, and they are the ones who are not able to share, even not with their family members. They move into stress, continuously stop taking food, take drugs, take smoke to being an alcoholic. They are the ones who commit suicide. So these are the symptoms which need to be watched. When I wrote the book Save Your Child, first book, I said, the moment a child is taking drugs, that's the symptoms of drugs. And try to give time to the child, go to the counselor, take the child away, put him in de-addiction center, and see to his withdrawals and see to his recovery. That has to be given a personal touch. So this first one is high psychotic, high extrovert says, I'm okay, you're not okay. Then you see the loop here, the neurotic and the introvert. The neurotic, like the woman who jumped into the well with her 3 children, she said, I'm not okay, and you are not okay. And so is the case of the woman who killed her husband, pushed him with the body into the box, and slept over it, is a neurotic and introvert. She couldn't put there, she did it herself. There are umpteen cases you'll find where they do it like this, and they don't leave any clues. It takes time to find out the clues. Now go to the top. The person who is committing suicide, it says that I'm okay, you are not okay. But then he's not able to correct the system. Like the boy who jumped from the thing, he was undergoing depression. The mother left him for some time and he killed himself. You know the case of that Korean case which became very sensational? 3 girls. Jaya pata hai? 3 girls. It has happened in Ghaziabad. From a multi-storied building, jumped together because there was some Korean media which was affecting their lifestyle. They should stay inside their room, all 3 together, all the time on the media, social media, all the time playing games of the Korean. Father, mother were away from them. On the mobile, they did it. They started showing some abnormal behavior which the father could not detect. And finally, 3 of them jumped from the, I think, 10th floor and killed themselves. So they said, I'm okay, you're not okay. Now, this society, these things you will find in the paradigm I think Jaya can share with you and do it. I will just share one thing with you. That I have ample cases because I've traveled all through the country, visited a lot of prisoners, lot of them. Unfortunately, the work pattern that I had in an ICFS, teaching criminal psychology, stress management, gave me a chance to talk to the judiciary, police, and the correctional officers. Right in the beginning, at the inception, when I was just a small girl entering into my lectureship and criminal psychology, there's an image which left in my mind even today when I have crossed 78. It is still there. That was an image of a lady. Whenever I used to sit with the prisoners, I used to wonder, my God, how will I manage them? And they used to come and throw their children on my lap and say, हमें समझाओ क्या करना है. They used to throw my thematic application test. They used to throw my forms away. And I was feeling frustrated. That lady guided me, and that's how I continued, and today I'm here. She used to sit next to me. She was in mid-40s, in a white clad dress. And she told me, Beti, इनका सहारा तुम्हें नहीं मिलेगा. You will not get their cooperation unless you be one like them. I doubt आज के जो researchers हैं कितना close जाते हैं prisoners को to read their mindset. This is what I did, and this is what I tell my students who did research under me. So I said, what to do? She said, उनकी तरह dress up like them, behave like them, come to them, eat what they give you, take the children on your lap, and they will be with you. Rapport will be established. And I started doing friends. और मुझे क्या पहचान आया कि many women waited for their family members to come. There were many who had no family members to come. They had to finally go to the aftercare homes. But then this lady who used to sit with me, she was caught for burning to death her daughter-in-law. And she told me it was a death, dying declaration में मेरी बहू ने बताया था मैंने जला दिया, पर मैंने नहीं जलाया. She burnt herself and she told me that I will take revenge on you. अगर मैं जलाती तो मैं खुद क्यों रिक्शा में बैठ के उसको हॉस्पिटल ले आती. I didn't believe her. I continued, but what I noticed was that her son had remarried. He, damad, daughter-in-law, son-in-law, son, they all used to come and meet her. And that was her strength. And that's what she guided me. And I understood this whole crime is very intricate. You have to understand the situation, the circumstances where this crime has occurred. And that instigated me to talk to the police officers, jail officers, and say, reopen the file and see this lady's case. And that was opened. So many cases are there. There was another lady who was married at a very young age to a Rajput man, 10 to 12 years or more older to her. She never loved him. She fell in love with her brother-in-law. She had 2 children from the first husband, but she never loved him. Now, the brother-in-law was comparatively of her age, and then they decided to do away with this man, but he was a highly built, heavy-built man. So, at that time when you used to study criminality, women's first weapon of crime was poison to give in food, knife, kitchen knife. They never used to go to big arsenal and all that because they used to stay within the house. So this lady started giving poison in the food of the husband. Slow poisoning, जिसे कहते हैं. And gradually he became weak. He had a very big farmland and everything. And he died. When he died, then the body was put into a gunny bag and taken away elsewhere. It was discovered by the villagers. She was arrested. So was the brother-in-law. And brother-in-law both got life sentence. When I met her, she had completed her imprisonment. But when she went to her village, I think it was Bareilly, villagers said, we don't want this woman here. She must go away. She was brought back. But there was one thing very outstanding, जो आज ही मेरे दिमाग में है. उसके दोनों लड़के उससे मिलने आते थे. And that was her strength. Then she was given nurses training by the jail administration. She became a nurse. But where she go? Then the sons volunteered to take her away to their another place. ये चीजें नोटिस की जाती है जब प्रिजनर्स के बगल में बैठ के आप क्रिमिनोलॉजी पढ़ें. Then you'll understand the pattern of crime, the criminal tendency, the modus operandi, and the way one does brutally. ये सब पता चलेगा. Okay? So I think, thank you. I've spoken much now. Jaya, I need rest now.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such a wonderful discussion that you have done. And yes, very correctly, you have mentioned during the session that nobody is a born criminal. It's the situations which turns around and make them the criminal. So thank you so much, ma'am. So, ma'am, if you allow me, there are certain questions in the chat box which we can actually discuss.
I'm willing.
Okay,
It was becoming one-way traffic होता जा रहा था. So I'm willing.
Yeah, definitely. So, the very first question that comes from Yamikani. She, I guess, wants to ask how to detect criminal and civil behavior in community.
How to?
Detect criminal and civil behavior in community.
No, this is something very abstract. See, community is a community. Now, criminal behavior. Why did you label it as criminal behavior? Number one. The community, many a community have their own norms, their own values, their own pattern of life. Now, to label it as criminality or criminal behavior is wrong. There is something called expectation and result. That paradigm must be kept in mind. If I go with an expectation that my community and the other community will have the same pattern of lifestyle, right? Like take the Naxal community, a close community, but they were rivals and rebels. For them, it was no crime to fight for their rights. Exactly in the same manner, if there is a tribal belt and there are fights between two tribes, now they have their own community, they have their own normal values and all that. I cannot label it as a criminal behavior. Why? Because it is opposing me, not being approved by me, it is disarming me. That's not it. Criminal behavior, once again, let me explain. Criminal behavior, first and foremost, it is said when a crime is committed and that is punishable under the law of the land, then it is a crime. We have to keep in mind. We cannot define anybody and any act as a crime. Now, for example, spitting on the road or, urinating on the road. Now, this is the law violation of law. Community as a whole, let me repeat every time and let me, clarify the doubt. All communities do not have the same ethos, the same ethic, the same moral values. They have a different standards. We may be one, we are Indians, but community to community, they have their own ethics, their own man. We must give respect to it. We have to understand it. यहाँ पे एक बात आता है, expectation and result. Now, if we expect, as from one community, I expect the other community must respect my norms, respect my ideas, respect my movement. If he doesn't, he's a criminal. I am wrong. Because my expectation and the result that is coming, there's a different big gap. Big gap. So ये जो है, कम्युनिटी को उसको समझना है, उसके पर्सपेक्टिव को समझना है, उसके थॉट्स, उसके वे ऑफ लाइफ को समझना है, उसको रिस्पेक्ट देना है. Then you will get respect. So I simply disagree with this idea of criminal behavior with community. I don't want to label any community. Every community has their own ethic. Okay?
Thank you so much, ma'am, for answering the question. So, Abhishek has a question. Abhishek, you have raised your hand as well. So, I'll allow you to unmute yourself and ask your question directly because it's a long question. So, it's good that you directly ask the question. So, Abhishek, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah, Abhishek, go on. Abhishek, can you say?
Yes, ma'am. Very good afternoon and a good morning, ma'am. Also, with due respect, ma'am, I'm want to tell you that I have to know something about that. That, ma'am, could you please tell me about if we can identify neurochemical imbalances or structural brain abnormalities of any kind of person, like a shrunken amygdala, and strongly correlate with violent psychopathy? At what points does criminal intent because medical symptom rather than a choice, how should the justice system evolve? If free will is increasingly debunked by neuroscience.
Yeah. The point is this may not be the sole instrument to decide, Abhishek, but it can be an added and an assisted one, which will enable you now, like, for example, repeated offenders, right? Or
Yes,
let's
ma'am.
take off those who are serial rapists, right?
Yes,
Those
ma'am.
who are serial murderers, what they see a vulnerable and they kill. Now, this criminal propensity scale will enable a person who is studying thoroughly and holistically, will enable to give indicators, because this deals with personality traits, right? This deals with personality traits. So it will indicate that this type of personality is in the person, and therefore you go further with other medical tests. Like, for example, let me say, Abhishek, that forensic science labs are now using this scale at the initial stage to study that a person committing a crime, a heinous offense, is still saying, I have not done it. Because psychotism may high faking aati hai. I have not done it. Until you use polygraph and other lie detector tests and others, and you find that yes, it is coming. Body language, right? Voice in analyzer. But what I'm trying to convey is that it can assist in indicating that there are certain tendencies, because this deals with criminal tendency from the psychological viewpoint of shame. This deals with criminal tendency. And therefore, this criminal propensity scale, when I was going through Isings, it is a personality questionnaire. It underlines that this person will not regret, will not resent, will not change himself, because he always believes, I'm okay, you are not. The moment they just a standby my boarding Abhishek, that the moment we people who are balanced, who are normal, who are adjustable, we say, I'm okay, you are okay. That is the balance. Then you become very normal in a place. So this can always be an AD to other tests, right? This is
Yes,
an
ma'am.
indicator. This is an indicator to personality problem. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm very
Thank you, ma'am.
clear about it. I'm very clear about it, right?
Okay, ma'am. Right, ma'am.
Anything else, Abhishek?
No, ma'am.
Because Abhishek, let me tell you, it is God given. I'm not boasting. I got the opportunity of traveling, except for Kerala, even till Tamil Nadu, Punjab, everywhere I've traveled and visited the prisons. And my one aim used to be to sit near the prisoner. And I used to sit with prisoners, forlorn, lost, not mixing with others, looking at my eye, trying to say, listen to me and understand me. Being a psychologist, I sit with them. And that's why I'm narrating all the cases to you, that I sat with them. Then only the scale was developed. So when this scale itself is exposing, then why are you in neuroscience and other thing and all? The one person is saying, I've done it because I saw my father and my brother being killed. So from the jail, I went and red-handed, I killed. What neuroscience will say? So these things are there. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So
Any other
thank you.
questions?
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, for answering the question of Abhishek. So, Abhishek, I believe you have got the answer very well. So, there is another big question, long question from Gaurav Kumar. So, Gaurav, can I just request you also to unmute yourself and ask your question?
Sure, ma'am. Thank you. Ma'am,
Yeah,
am I
go
audible?
ahead. Yeah, you're
You are
audible.
audible.
मैम मेरा क्वेश्चन ये था कि जो आपने ईपीक्यू स्केल एंड जो पैराडिज्म बताया था उसके अकॉर्डिंग इंट्रोवर्जन और एक्सट्रावर्जन थे। मैम हम ये कह
हाँ
सकते हैं कि इंट्रोवर्जन एक्सट्रावर्जन में कन्वर्ट हो सकता है। फॉर इंस्टेंस आपने जो
हाँ,
केस स्टडी का एग्जाम्पल
वेरी
दिया
गुड।
था कि
हाँ
जो वुमेन है वो अपने 3 डॉटर्स के साथ सुसाइड कर लेती है बिकॉज ऑफ द
हाँ
टॉर्मेंट जो इतने सालों से उनके इन लॉज उनके ऊपर इन्फ्लिक्ट
हाँ,
कर रहे थे।
हम्म।
एंड इंट्रोवर्ट्स मोर प्रोन होते हैं सुसाइड के एंड एक्यूमुलेट करते हैं वही इंटरनल फ्रस्ट्रेशन को। एंड ऑन द अदर
हम्म,
हैंड एक्सट्रोवर्ट्स जो होते हैं वो मोर प्रोन होते हैं वायलेंटली ब्रेक डाउन लैश आउट करने और एग्रेसिव बिहेवियर के लिए। एंड देन
हम्म।
आपने बताया था एक क्लास के अंदर केस स्टडी कि एक एल्डरली मैन था जिन्होंने 30 साल तक वही फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस स्ट्रेस एंड प्रेशर झेला था अपनी वाइफ से एंड एट द
हम्म,
एंड वो को मार देते हैं। तो अब हम ये इन्फर कर सकते हैं कि इंट्रोवर्टेड इवन वो पर्सन है, इतने साल तक वो फ्रस्ट्रेशन झेल रहा है, कि ह्यूमन का भी एक ब्रेकिंग पॉइंट आता है, एक थ्रेशोल्ड आता है फ्रस्ट्रेशन का, एंड उसके बाद या तो वो खुद को मार देगा या तो वो किसी और को मार देगा, जो कि एक्सट्रोवर्जन हो जाएगा। तो ये कन्वर्ट हो जा सकते हैं एक पॉइंट के बाद, या फिर ये एब्सोल्यूट ही है अपने नेचर में।
हाँ, मैं एक बात बोलूं, देखो एक चीज तुम जो पैराडाइम जया खोलो तो मैं दिखाऊं, एक पैराडाइम में एक लिंक तुम लोग ने ओवरलुक कर गई हो, मैंने भी तुम लोग को समझी जया,
Just give me a minute, ma'am. I'm sharing.
and expand it so that I can show.
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
What I want to convey, that to everyone who is listening to me, that there is very, very intrinsic relationship which must be taken seriously when you are studying the victim and the offender. Now here what I'm trying to say, देखो एक चीज यहाँ पे है, लास्ट की तरफ देखो, जो एक्सट्रोवर्जन है, न्यूरोटिज्म दिखाई दे रहा है, एक्सट्रोवर्जन और न्यूरोटिज्म, ये अगर व्यक्ति जो है, इंसान को कोई सपोर्ट मिल जाए, कोई रोल मॉडल मिल जाए, कोई मेंटर मिल जाए, ये एक्सट्रोवर्जन में चला जाए, ठीक है, न्यूरोटिज्म कम हो जाए। गॉट इट? यहाँ पे इसको अगर यहाँ पे चांस दिया जाने का, तो वो कहता है इफ आई एम नॉट ओके यू आर नॉट ओके। यहाँ पे अगर उसको घुमा के ले गए, मेक फ्रेंड्स विद हिम, हैव अ मेंटर, और वो तुरंत समझेगा अपने फॉल्ट, वो तुरंत समझेगा अपने कमी, ही विल अंडरस्टैंड within him and he will seek a mentor, will change himself. There are many cases are like that. Inside the jail I have noticed that who have gone into engineering, who have gone into training, who have joined universities because they got a mentor there in the prison. They didn't get spoiled. Whereas on the other hand, a person who was just a petty criminal, he goes into the prison, he learns the more intricacies of crime, and their gangs are there who take him out, and he goes into crime, hardened criminal. तो ये जो है पॉइंट है लास्ट वाला, एक्सट्रोवर्जन एंड न्यूरोटिज्म. There are children, when you observe in children, that they are staying close to themselves. They are not going out to play. They are rather, having very close friends on the media. Nowadays, every individual is on that mobile. Mother is on the mobile, the father is on, the grandmother is on the mobile, and the child has no one to talk to. So he's on the mobile. And how much the mobile is affecting this is another research to be done. How much, the mobile, the social media affecting the young minds, that need to be done. Now, in this case, if he goes out and plays, has a good mentor, has a good person who can guide him, this lower part, neuroticism, will get reduced and he will become an extrovert. Right? Understood? तो कभी भी मैं पेरेंट्स को जब काउंसलिंग करती थी, मैंने समझाया था that if you have one child who's going out and playing, the other child is just sitting at home, get the child, along with the child, और उसको लेके बाहर खिलाइए. सबसे बड़ी चीज आप लोग को बोल रहे हैं before I close my sessions, the sense of belongingness. जैसे अजय आज मैं आप लोग से बात कर रही हूँ, people feel belong to my session and I feel belong to you though I'm not seeing you. तो यहाँ पर क्या होता है कि that sharing of trust, sharing of space, sharing of love in the house gives a sense of belongingness, and that belongingness enhances the moral value in the child. He adopts the good things, leave alone the bad things. He becomes an extrovert. He moves, skills, plays. कहाँ रहा उसका न्यूरोटिज्म? ये होता है. Got it? Clear?
Got it, ma'am.
सबसे बड़ी चीज है घर में sense of belongingness. सबसे बड़ी चीज है sense. Why is it today children are running away from home? I planned a scheme, the study is on running away, children running away from home. Now they go into groups, they go into gangs, they are being, transported, they are being taken to other places. So they belong there. That is not in their home. That is it.
So thank you so much, ma'am, for answering the question. And I hope, Gaurav, your questions are being well explained. Correct?
I want to share one thing more with Gaurav and all other viewers who are listening to me. I don't know who all are there. But what I want to share, Gaurav, When I was counseling the children in the observation home at 𝐂𝐫𝐬𝐭 Camp, New Delhi, 3 children were caught for the same crime. Any empty house they used to find, particularly in the winter or in the vacation time, the houses are empty. The houses were in one particular, they used to get robbed, plundered, and other things. So one owned up, because I used to sit with them projecting as a mother, as a benefactor, as a lover, loved mother, caressing them and all. So one told out, said, there is one man, a young chap. Now see the job. See the, criminals ko kabhi gadhe mat samjho. They are very intelligent. They are schemers. They have skills. They know where the lacuna lie. Here, this young man, he used to recce the houses in the vicinity and other vicinities in South Delhi and in the Delhi University areas and all. And any house that is vacant, he had these children who used to run away. He used to bring them to a very good building. They used to stay in the 5th floor or something, give them food, give them all luxury of life, give them everything, and used to train them. At night, he used to take them in the car and leave them at a particular place and say, here the houses are vacant, you do it. That's how they were plundering, robbing, and giving the money in his hand. And little that he used to give the share, they used to share it in the family. I have noted it. The man was not caught, the children were caught. So why the children fell into the trap? And there are many others like this. Because they are the runaway children. They had no sense. They belonged to that man. भैया हम लोग को प्यार करते थे, भैया हम लोग को अच्छे अच्छे खाना देते थे, भैया हम लोग को कहते तुम्हें कुछ नहीं होगा, हम संभालेंगे. ये भैया कहते थे, why not the parents? कहाँ थे आप लोग? So I called the parents and I spoke to them, talked to them, but I'm not certain. Because they took the parents took the children away. But if things remain the same, they will again go to the भैया. Follow up नहीं है, मैं openly बोल रही हूँ. ठीक है? Okay.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for answering the question. So I hope, Gaurav, the answers is being well clarified. Now, the
Yes, ma'am.
next question is from Ravi Kumar. And Ravi Kumar, ma'am, he want to ask about that. Are today's film and web series giving rise to crime or criminal mindset? Or are the crimes depicted in movies reflecting what is happening into the society? And he has a second part of the question as well. As a parents, what do we need to do more or less in raising children?
Yeah, first of all, let me take the parents' issue. You have to spend more and more time with the children when they are growing, because that is the time when they are observing very acutely. And one thing we must keep in mind, the intelligence of the children is sharper, very alert, faster, grasper. They are observing, then they are imitating, then they ask questions. Why, father, you tell lie, saying tell him that I'm not at home, and you tell me not to tell lie. So these types of questions have to be answered very pragmatically. Father and mother have to spend more time with the children, understanding the children, and giving them love. That support and love is the baseline of the personality growth. And that keeps one going even till death. But when the child, I mentioned to you the case where the child was rejected, was criticized in the presence of the own second son, what did he do? His whole career got lost. So these are happening many a places now with parents working out, not giving time to the child. So that sense of belongingness comes from home and it has to be there because the personality develops there itself. Right, Sanjana? And the second question is what I forgot. Has to be repeated, Ravi.
Ma'am, are today's film and web series giving rise to crime or criminal mindsets?
The media.
Yeah, the media, the films.
Because what I want to say, nowadays what is happening, who is the proxy mother? Who is the proxy father? It is the mobile. A child will not eat, the mobile is pushed in his hand. So he looks into the mobile and eats. But at that time, mobile is just a fun and a toy and a game for him. But then curiosity, as I told you, is there in the child because he's growing. Parents are thinking this is a good time, bachche ne khana kha liya, I don't have to bother, let him go to sleep with the mobile. But this mobile is doing extreme harm. He is resting. As I told you, the intelligence is growing. He is resting what is happening on the mobile. There is no lock system that this child will see this, not the other things, neither on the TV nor in the mobile. As a result, the child commits sexual abuse. You find small children being abused by juveniles. A child of 3 was sexually raped by 3 juveniles. How can you imagine it? Did it ever happen in the past? It is happening now. This is the impact of the mobile. This is the impact of the social media. Because social media will say, how will I know who is watching what? You lock it. It is our responsibility to lock those things. But we give it as a toxic, and it's a toxic effect on the children. How can we expect, Jaya, that these children will go with a sane mind in our country? How can we accept that these children will be mentally strong, emotionally stable, and spiritually up to take the country ahead? We are getting a sick young generation because of this impact of mobile, TV, technology. Fine? Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am. It's well clear. And the next question is from Anika Upadhyay. The question is actually how to deal with stigma attached to the family and relatives of criminals, although they were not related to the crime.
Yeah. Now, this is something where, what I would say, certain researches are going on, but then how to do away with the stigma? Many a times what happens, children, the families totally migrate from one place to another, taking the children away. So there is no question of stigma there. Staying there itself, that social awareness has not come. Particularly in small vicinity like villages, suburbs, in towns and cities, it is not there. If a person is acquitted and said you have not committed crime, he comes out. In our country, the compensation system is not there. But then when that person has comes out, his whole image has changed. So is the image of the family members and the children. I agree. I agree. But then there are still no steps as to how to remove the stigma. I accept it. So do you know what generally families do? They migrate to another place and they grow their children. And the children, there's something very unique. I got a chance of studying the children of imprisoned family members. I found that the parents, the mother or the father, when they come out of the jail, they are better parents than the normal parents. A comparative study मैंने किया था that prisoners who get released, they pose themselves before their children as best parents. Whereas those normal parents, जो घर में है आए दिन लड़ाई हो रही है, झगड़ा हो रहा है, projecting violence in the mind of the children, these parents are different. They are supportive of each other. They are aware of grievance, sympathy of each other. They understand the problems of their children, and the children are proud of their fathers. ये बात है कि social stigma, that awareness not there, and they then plan to migrate, or things gradually change. Children now of these parents have grown up as important people. They may not disclose their identity, but they have turned out better than children of rich parents. यहाँ पे हैं बच्चे जो गाड़ी सुबह के चला देते हैं, killed many people. BMW चल रहा है, killing people, and then cases being fought. But these children coming out from a struggling life, from a displacement to a placement, and they live happily. ये है.
So I
अच्छा,
hope,
आशा जी का कब आने का टाइम है? Yeah.
ma'am, Asha ma'am 3:30 join करेंगे.
Okay.
So the next question is, ma'am, from Ganesh Khanna, and he want to ask that how the societal tendency and blackmailing nature develops in a person, and can you kindly brief about how these could be treated and overthrown?
Basically, when a parents detect that a child right from day one grows into depression very quickly, number one. Any a word or anything that is told to him, he takes it otherwise. Because there's something called negativity. He thinks negatively. He doesn't think positively. अब मेरा क्या होगा? मैं जो है फेल हो जाऊंगा. मैं नहीं समझ पा रहा हूँ how to go ahead. Then that is a time when a break is needed. That is the time when a skillful conversation is needed. That is a time when, a trained counselor is needed, who should become a mentor, who should become a guide, who should show the way, and try to instill in the child that here you are, you stand. And things will change, but that should be done immediately at the initial stage, not wait for the time to ripe. Then the problem arises. What is there? मैंने आपको बताया था कि जब वो introvert ये हो जाता है, and so I'm okay, others are not okay, the people are not understanding me. There, you have to bring him out, get him into another skill, sit with him and talk to him. Parents, be it counselors, be it elders, and he will understand. Leave him to himself, it will be a problem. Because suicidal tendencies generally comes under in the introverts. So that introversion को हटाना होगा. आप देखेंगे मेरे स्केल के पैराडाइम में इंट्रोवर्ट्स आर द वन. एक्सट्रोवर्ट्स जो होते हैं ना, वो अपना निकाल देते हैं कहीं शराब पी के, ड्रग्स लेके कुछ, बट जो इंट्रोवर्ट्स होते हैं वो अंदर ही अंदर घूमते हैं. That is where it happens. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, there are a few more questions. If you allow me to take, I'll take those questions as well. So, actually, the way you are talking and discussing and explaining the things is making interesting for the students to learn. So, they have one more question, ma'am. Can I take that?
No, I have no view, I love. But what I'm
Okay.
trying to say,
So,
Jaya,
yeah.
just listen to me once. You take their questions. There are many people, remember one thing, Jaya. Even in your team, you will find, even in the viewers, you will find there are many people who are silent viewers.
Yes.
They wait for their time to come, or they go on waiting and the time never comes.
Yes.
So, you tell them, quietly you talk to ma'am when you are comfortable. Ma'am, give my number to them. मैं माँ की तरह इनसे बात करूंगी. अब तो मैं बहन और भाई तो नहीं बन सकती अब इस उम्र में. मैं माँ ही बनूंगी या नानी दादी बनूंगी. तो वो जो है हमसे बात करें, मैं अपने टाइम पे उनसे बात करूंगी. Because this is now a job that I'm doing. I won't say I'm lonely. My husband has passed away and he left a message. He said, तुम अपने काम में लगी रहो. So I think this is a good job that I am helping children to grow up, to know themselves. The basic thing is to know, Jaya, इसको ध्यान रखना. Who am I? And I'm there to help them out. उनको मेरा नंबर दे दो. मैं टाइम दूंगी, मैं बात करूंगी. I'll remain occupied and they'll also get a mother with them.
Okay.
ठीक है?
So, okay,
अब
fine.
बोलो क्या क्वेश्चन है? हाँ बोलो.
Ma'am, question ये है कि do you think if India employs deterrent theory instead of rehabilitative reformative theory would bring changes in crime in India?
No, I don't agree. Not strongly. As a criminal psychologist understanding criminal behavior, how can I say the deterrent theory will be? Because deterrent will be, judiciously, if you say this is for the law to decide. If there is a repeated offender going on doing, then the deterrent theory comes. But not otherwise. Not otherwise. Even in the Thari case, when death penalty was given to the thing, it was decided the latter part that no, he is a mental case, he should be given life imprisonment. And now he's released. So I strongly disagree with it. Deterrent theory will be, now rather than giving deterrent theory, the sentencing in certain cases may be made more rigorous. That is for the court to decide. But eye for an eye is no longer there. And restoration is fully involved. Reformation, restoration, it is there. Because as I told you, the person who you are seeing in front of you is a criminal because he is learned that criminality from the circumstances where he was born, from the circumstances he grew up, from the circumstances he comes. Study the circumstances, then punish it. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. So thank you so much, ma'am, for answering the question. Sorry. So there is another question from Ashik.
And another thing, Sanjay, sorry for interruption.
Yeah.
Like in that Shraddha case, the boy who killed the Shraddha so brutally goes into the case mercilessly, without any regret. I will say, why did Shraddha went back when she knew his mind? That is the criminal mind, which she knew and she became vulnerable to it. And she registered the case also to the police, and then again she returned instead of going to the parents. Okay, if you don't go to the parents because you were staying with this boy against the will of your parents, you could have gone somewhere else. Now that is known as victims precipitated to crime. Had she not gone there, she would not have got killed. The fellow would not have become a murderer. Right? ये भी तो देखो.
Yes, ma'am. So the another question is that should criminal propensity assessment influence decisions like bail, sentencing, or payroll? Is there a risk that labeling someone having a criminal propensity that could lead to stigmatization?
See, one thing I will say that this scale is used for academic purpose, number one. Please be clear. It is not being applied or interpreted in the jurisdiction of the court or anything. They have their own versions. This, I've told all researchers who are studying, that criminal propensity speaks of the likelihood, the criminal proneness. And this has been adapted from Eisen's questionnaire. This has nothing to do with the judgment. This has nothing to do with the court version. So I think this should not be mixed up with that. Yeah, forensic science labs, they are using it again as an AD, right? Just like they use the lie detector, just like they use the voice analyzer. This is an AD. So that I cannot say that this will help in bail or parole or anything like that. I cannot say that.
So thank you so much, ma'am, for answering the questions so patiently and in a detailed way so that they can understand everything. And I would say the way you have explained the things about criminal behavior through the criminal propensity scale has actually made us understand that we as an human, we need to also understand one thing, that we are like no one is a born criminal. It's the situations which turns around them to the to this stage. And if we are taking care about this, so it actually helps the society and the things. So thank you so much, ma'am, and I'm really grateful for this one, the way you have discussed the things and the way you have explained about the things. And with this, ma'am, I would like to present you the certificate of appreciation in the grateful recognition for your invaluable contribution as a speaker at the one-day workshop on understanding criminal behavior with the help of the criminal propensity scale. So thank you so much, ma'am. Kindly accept this e-certificate.
Thank you very much, Jay, and thank you again. I will thank Dr. Ranjit for giving me the chance to explain my scale. I thank you, Jaya, for being with me continuously. I also thank Mr. Shada Prasad, my former director, for developing the framework and helping me to go ahead. And Asha, who is coming, she is also, will be helping me. My one and sincere request to all who are viewing me or who are listening to me, that criminal propensity scale or any scale may be studied judicially before using it. Simply saying that I'm using the criminal propensity doesn't matter. My effort has been here to explain the intrinsic connection, the correlation. I'm emphasizing every word of mine between personality and crime. And
Thank you.
therefore, mind is trying to diagnose the mind through this scale. Therefore, if anybody is saying, I'm using the CPQ scale now, it has become a game, Anybody taking up a scale and doing it, not understanding why you're doing it. You must go into the value of the scale. You define the scale, you define the importance of the scale by simply naming the scale. So my contention is this, and why I'm on this platform spending so many hours, I'm on fast there today, that why I'm spending this time. It is because, maybe the last time I cannot go on every platform and go on explaining the scale. Now I don't have that vitality. What I'm trying to tell all the viewers, all the listeners, all the students from this platform, Jaya, that if you want to apply the criminal propensity scale, do it wholeheartedly, do it honestly, and do it with a discretion. Go into the patterns of the scale, understand the scale, and whenever you want my help, I'm there. You share my number. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your support and everything. So with this, dear participants, we are moving ahead with our next talk, that is from Dr. Ranjit Kumar Singh, sir, who will be talking on from psychological traits to criminal acts, interpreting behavior through the criminal propensity scale. So I would take an opportunity to introduce you, sir, to all the participants. Sir is a distinguished forensic expert and the founder and CEO of the Sherlock Institute of Forensic Science India and a government registered private forensic science laboratory and training institute established in 2006. Sir holds 19 plus year of experience experience in the field of the forensic investigation, education, professional training. Sir is having PhD and MSc from University of Delhi and specialized in cyber forensics, digital forensics, and question document analysis, and many more. Sir has certified CEH-CHFI by the EC Council, strengthening his experts in cyber and digital investigation. Sir has provided forensic expert opinions and reports in numerous cases for courts, police departments, government agencies, corporate organization, and insurance company. Sir has also published research papers, books in reputed national and international journal. And I would just say that through SIFS, Sir is actively promoting forensic education, professional development by different workshops, training, conferences, and making students learn about this field. So I'll take this opportunity to welcome you, sir. Without delaying, just over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Afreen, for such a generous introduction. I'm traveling and I don't know when my network will drop because it's a mountain hilly area of Philippines that is called the Baguio. I'm here in the Philippines and delivering my session to 11 universities with collaboration. So I'm grateful that Subra ma'am has come with this kind of workshop where we are having lots of ideas, and particularly the people, those who are new generation, like the questions which comes in the mind that how we are getting influenced by having a serious media and other things, and what are the prospects we can see either such kind of crime actually going into the society, or we are just thinking that this is just a reflection of the crime which is going, and from that they are taking the fictional idea. So believe me, I worked with the 4 or 5 movies, and started with the my forensic movie with Vikrant Messi and Radhika Apte, where we have discussed this movie with the psychological traits, how a criminal with the psychology they are doing the crime, and what kind of their childhood trauma they have, what traits of they are developing. So on that basis of a story, we have made that movie, and then after that we made the movie of Kathputli, that is with Akshay Kumar, where we again taken a psychological traits, where a person with some kind of influence they wants to kill the person. So yes, the media playing a very important role for committing such kind of crime or hiding such kind of crime. Even when we go for the investigation of such cases, we need to understand that in the present scenario, the media, whatever they are, movie, serial, web series they are making on the basis of the cases which is going into the society. And either you see, then I did with the Asur too, the series where we find, then we with the Sector 36 with Vikrant Messi, again on the Nithari, based on the Nithari case, psychological killer. And recently, when the Afrin ma'am also played a forensic expert role in the Bansal murders with the Nawazuddin Siddiqui. So media, yes, media is very highly influenced, and the media is showing what is going into the society. That is in the nutshell. From the psychological traits of the criminal act, either when we talk about the initial, when a psychological crime comes in the picture, when the psychology of the people come into the discussion, into the courtroom, it started with the cases when the Ted Bundy was having some kind of traits, which is showing the superficial charms, his manipulative behavior, also the lack of empathy with the victim, and violent fantasies. So all these many traits they have with a very high criminal, propensity indicators, and with this, the people are thinking that they can control their crime, or they can control the world with their aggression. They can control the world with their impulsivity. They can control the world with their empathy deficit, or there are some kind of moral disengagement as well. So having all these things nowadays, as we are moving into the social media things, where we have everyone is nowadays making a fake account, like Manju madam very rightly pointed out. Nowadays, kids are making a fake account Instagram about the sharing the mock pic of their teachers, personal information of the staff and teachers. That is not only going with the children, ma'am, as you also, one of the very renowned officer in the police. So Manju ma'am, I'm sure that you agree with me that in all the era, people are making such kind of fake things. Not only with the kids, it's with the even with
True,
the
sir.
you know even with the uh, adult also, to defame into the politics, to defame into the corporate, to get some benefit. So all these kind of practices going, yes, and the kids they are doing, they do not know the more legality and the implications, how it is going to impact their future, how it is going to impact their image when they are going to grow. And many children, you recently last 1 year you have seen that many hit and run cases comes. So that psychology of the individual, that they wants to enjoy the driving, there is not intention to kill someone by the rash driving. And uh, they want to something, they want to boast with their friend, with their nature. So all these kind of criminal traits are developing. And later, once this is a one time incident, or we can say such kind of crime is not going to continue in the future. So there are two things. One is either they're continuing, or they're going to continue into the future as well, or it's just a one time incident happen. And many cases, like in one of the hit and run case in Delhi, a very famous civil line hit and run case happened. That was the first case happened, and in that I have given the accident reconstruction opinion. And on that, we find that the individual was not having a criminal intention to conduct such kind of crime. But after after the incident, he tried all his effort to hide that crime, all his effort to the manipulate the witnesses, to transplant the fake driver. So such kind of intention is very bad, if we see the scenario of the people. And such kind of uh, eh, eh, such kind of activity give them as an indicator, like they people are having some antisocial tendencies. Their impulsivity is not going into the way where the society is looking, because these people, those who are doing such kind of cases, they are very rich people, they are from the very high background, very well known social background. So having such kind of impulsivity, they are not having some kind of sensations also, and they are looking for the such kind of indicator. We find that they are looking for the sensational indication as well. They have sometime when the accident happened, they have a very low empathy and weak moral of the walking, that they do not go for such kind of support to them. Such kind of things, when we go about the criminal propensity scale to test such kind of criminals, because when we interrogate some criminal, those who are dealing with a drug with the Narcotics Control Bureau, or those who are like a famous gang who is doing in the Gurgaon, as the case is already under the trial, so I cannot tell the name, but yes, we do the interrogation to understand how they are helping, how they are committing this crime, and how they are influencing the other people. And many gangs are also, you have heard in the news that whenever such kind of crime is coming, some gang is taking the responsibility. So such kind of criminal traits is coming with and in this, if we go with the proper scaling with the criminal profiling, we can have the risk assessment of such kind of crime. We can have there what kind of behavioral threat evaluations we have. We can have the correctional rehabilitation planning for them. After all these, when the we are able to evaluate the offender, their risk level, we are able to identify the violent tendency, then we can surely help them to go for the rehabilitation practices. And in this, which are the high criminal, act, or the propensity we see as a, they are having a very persistent aggressions. They have the lack of guilt or remorse. They have a manipulative behavior. They never accept what the crime they have done. They are going for the very rule violation of the law, and they can do anything when they want to violate the law. And such kind of analysis is very, very important when we go. So I recently got a chance to understand that how this emotional AI is going to help the people, and how this in the era of artificial intelligence, in the era of social media, how this emotional interrogation or their interviewing process going to help. So all these things are very, very important when we want to understand that how they are going to be very, very helpful for the uh, police agencies, or if such kind of crime is coming into the society, what are the indicators we can flag, so that they can understand, yes, these are the understanding behavior where they by that they can do something which is actually need to avoid and need to understand that yes, this is the crime where they have understood. So with this, as I'm just sure that ma'am said that there is a mm, test, like maybe a lie detection test, or maybe a BUS, or maybe many other kind of psychological test is going on to understand either they are doing such kind of behavior with the intentions, or such kind of crime is a habitual criminal, or it's a one-time incidental criminal, or one-time planned criminal. They can be in the many way. And now when we go to understand their psychology or their things, either you consider the Shraddha Walkar case, where the people they have searched up after killing of the girl, they search on the internet that how to dispose the body. What are the, you can understand their psychology, you can understand or think about how calm, cool they to read the content, understand the content, the methodology, cutting the body into the pieces, or after cutting the body, in another case they putting into the the drum, putting cement, because that can melt the body into the faster rate. So all these kind of criminal traits are not coming as in the both cases. Both are both the criminal are the one timer criminal. Either it's Aftab or it's the girl, I think, if you correctly remember, Sonam. So it's a one time criminal. The first time they are doing such kind of heinous crime, and you can understand the label of heinous crime. And such kind of evidences, when we recover in when we receive in our laboratory, we are doing the digital forensic examination. And by having such kind of digital forensic examination, we are getting many data which is not actually coming to the public, many data which they are doing. And similarly, many in the digital era, as Manjuvam very rightly pointed out, that nowadays they are putting the morph images. So recently, one case we have received where the girl was suspected by the husband that this photograph, the nude photograph with some another man, is belongs to that particular girl. And husband was, they start fighting. That girl was saying that no, it's not me, it's not me. And then they come to the laboratory for the photograph verification, and we find that yes, this is a Photoshop with the help of some high technique tools they have generated. It's actually not the AI generated, but it's a face transplanted photos. Here the question comes that, and both husband wife convince, and they are happily now living. But the question comes that what about the boy who is available into the photograph? When we given this query to the police agency, can we find it out that particular boy? And when we try to find it out that particular boy, you can understand his psychology of committing this crime. He has done with around 125 girls, 125, 26 girls, with a similar way, by morphing their photograph, taking photograph from the social media, posting to their relatives, asking some money. If they are not getting a money, they are using a VPN. Until unless the facial recognition not help to catch such criminal, many people may commit the suicide, may give the money to get rid of such kind of extortion. So legal extortion become a very high, and that's why the this detachable body part, which is called the mobile phone, or as ma'am very rightly given the term, proxy parenting. So proxy parents, proxy mother, proxy father, these are having all our data. And with this, it is very, very important to understand these data and their value, that how these data is very, very important. So I'm sure that this workshop given you the several aspect about understanding the criminal behavior, what is developed through their identifiable traits, what are the psychological assist tools we can do. And I'm glad that Subramam voluntary coming to help all you children for your future, and so that you can early identify about your tendency, or you can enable prevention of such strategy, behavioral analysis you can do. Such kind of things are very, very important. And I'm sure that this workshop will give you the more and more highlights about whenever you want to do something, or you want to do the investigation, or you may be trapped, may be extorted by someone, and you can understand that psychology, and that the cases like digital arrest is on a very high. To understand the psychology of the people, sextortion is very high. In the digital arrest, people still they are coming up, but in the case of sextortion, 97% people are not coming up that they have paid that amount. and that's giving the more advantage to the criminal to commit such kind of crime into the continuous way. And you believe me, when the cyber cell, or when we are going with the cyber cell, we are arresting such victim, they are all are minor, 15 years, 16 years, 17 years. Their SIM is registered on them. Maybe some major people are also involved for running such kind of organized crime, but the police is not able to catch. And when they are catching this minor people, they are easily getting a bail, because being a juvenile, they cannot be go for the rigorous trial. So these are the very important aspect which we have to understand. You also take care of your digital well-being in the mobile, how many hours you are spending, because you believe me, it's a virtual drug which we are consuming knowingly or unknowingly. And by the consumption of such virtual drugs, it is coming output as you can say any drug, any things. When I started my study in 2003 in the forensics, my professor V.N. Sehgal sir said that when you even the consume the water into the excess quantity, it is going to work as a poison. While we say that jal hi jeevan hai. So anything, if you are taking into the excess, either you are reading Instagram into the excess, or you are taking anything into the excess, and that's why the children nowadays, they are not very much cooperative into the institutions. They are not very much interested into the learning. I'm not complaining. I'm just sharing my experience. When I started the teaching in 2006, and now in 2026, after the 20 year, there is a huge variation, and that is not only in India. I have taken a face-to-face classes almost 38 countries. Going into the 38 countries, I have found that these kind of behavior is developing from last 5 year, 4 year, due to having the excess use of the internet. People are want to become famous by the TikTok, by the Instagram. In our country, although TikTok is banned, but here in the Philippines, I have seen that many people are using just to get famous, to get the by the collaboration. So short money they wants to earn. So all these kind of psychological traits are developing, and in this, you young generation need to take a charge of this, as we are moving into the era of artificial intelligence. And these artificial intelligence, you can understand, is like a poison if you consume into the wrong way. If you are consuming this into the proper way, you can do anything. uh, just try to learn what actually is required from these tools. Do not go for the morphing of the photograph. Do not go for posting such kind of defamatory content. Do not go for learning the things it unethical. And when I take the training for the cybersecurity people, in the first or second class they start saying, sir, can we go to the dark web? How we can buy the drug from the dark web? So you can understand the intensity. They want to go first to take things which is illegally available, because legally available they can buy from any sources. So these are the very important factors which we have to take care into the nature. And I once again thank you, Subramaniam, for taking out time from your schedule and making this workshop happen, where the people and we have more, like from beginning to till now, we have more than 200 participants, which is after during the COVID period. If I say from March 2020 to August, September 2020, these are the number of audience. Usually you get like 500, 300. But in the online, we are getting a 30, 40 audience. But here with this topic, we are getting a 200 audience. It means making an impact on the society to understanding the criminal behavior with the help of such kind of analysis tools. So I once again congratulate everyone for joining this workshop, as I don't know when my internet will cut down. So I would like to take the questions, and I thank you once again, Subramaniam, for making this workshop successful and getting all your input along with the speakers like Sardar Prasad sir and Asa ma'am. You all are stalwart. We are just want to follow whatever you have done. If even we can do the 10% of the your work which you have done for the society, we feel very glad about our this life. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Dr. Ranjit, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
I am very, very grateful to you because, I was feeling as my health is declining these days, I was feeling that this scale that I have created, developed, and simply lived with it for the last 15 to 16 years, I felt that this will go. Because I noticed, people are asking for the scale without understanding why they want to apply. And then also when they are doing it, then I'm finding again to my dismay that my name is there, but they are measuring aggression, frustration, somewhere else, other behaviors without correlating them with the dimensions of personality traits. So I was feeling dismayed, disappointed that my effort has gone. And you believe me, that from abroad, whether it is Pakistan, Lebanon, people are asking me for the scale. And in India, the scale is applied every Tom, Dick, and Harry applying, just naming criminal by doctor and doing it as they want. This is my request and plea on this portal to everyone. Whenever you want to know, I'm always there for you. But please don't disrupt, destroy, or misuse the scale. Am I right, Dr. Ranji? And therefore,
Very
I'm
true,
very
ma'am.
thankful to you that you gave me the chance to explain the scale on this.
We
Thank
are
you very
honored,
much.
ma'am. We are completely honored with your presence, and I completely agree with you. And participant, if you have any question with me, you can drop the question. Although we have our esteemed speaker, Dr. Asa Srivastava, ma'am, also joined. Thank you, ma'am, for joining. And as I'm traveling, so due to the avoid the network issue, I'm just turning off my camera.
Thank you, Ranjit. I am also traveling. You are traveling foreign country. I am traveling Indian country.
And I'm traveling nowhere. I'm traveling nowhere.
Only
I'm very
because
much
of Dr.
committed.
Sanyal, madam, I am ready to just to speak something today because of only madam regards. Because from
Thank you
morning,
very much.
5 o'clock, I get up and I am traveling. Just I enter my home. And
Thank
camera
you
is
very
not
much. Thank you
working.
very much.
But anyway, I am audible or not?
Yes,
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am,
you're
very much
audible.
audible,
Okay,
ma'am.
okay. That's okay. So only because of the madam work in this field and such a senior lady, she has done lot of work. Only because of this thing, I am ready to speak something today only about the scale of madam and how we can utilize that. That is my things. Okay, just.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Rashid.
so thank you very much.
So, ma'am, the participant, you can understand, the Asa ma'am is already retired from the director post of the CFSL CBI. And such a highest post, if ma'am is learning from the Subra ma'am, you can understand what we are
Yeah.
at his place.
That's
So,
why I'm saying I cannot say no to madam. That's
yes,
why
ma'am.
Thank
I
you
am
very much.
traveling and that's why I.
Yes, ma'am. So, thank you so
It's
much,
God's
Asa ma'am.
blessing, Asha. It's
Yeah.
God's blessing that I have you and Dr. Ranjit and Ajaya and all with me. It's simply God's blessing and nothing else.
Yes,
Thank you very
madam.
much.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. So, Afrin, you can proceed with the Asa ma'am
Yes,
introduction.
ma'am. Sir, there is one question if you would like to answer. With all the personality traits we got to know through propensity scales, can the CPS be used to pinpoint the cause of commission of crime and the trigger? So I
I think
invite Shubhra
Subra
ma'am
ma'am
also
will
to
be the best to
yes,
answer this question.
yes. Shubhra ma'am, if you could please answer this question.
I think, we listen to Asha, then I'll come back to that
Sure,
question.
ma'am.
No
Sure,
problem.
sure.
Yes, that
Yeah.
will be the better.
Yes, that is much better. So, with this, hello everyone. We have with us now Professor Dr. Asha Srivastava ma'am, who is a professor and dean, School of Behavioral Forensics, National Forensic Science University, and ma'am will be talking on understand the minds of the criminals, a psychological assessment of the criminality. And I take this opportunity to introduce you all. Ma'am, who is currently the professor and dean of the School of Behavioral Forensics at the National Forensic Science University. Ma'am previously served as a director at the Central Forensic Science Laboratory under the Central Bureau of Investigation and also as a director of CFSL DFSS New Delhi. Ma'am holds an LLB and PhD in psychology from the University of Lucknow and has over 30 years of experience in forensic psychology, polygraph, and interdisciplinary forensic science. During her career, she has examined more than 5,000 subjects in about 2,000 cases referred by the agencies such as Central Bureau of Investigation, National Investigation Agencies, and Delhi Police. Ma'am has played a very major role in introducing advanced techniques such as forensic psychological assessment, statement analysis, psychological profiling, layered voice analysis, and psychological autopsy in forensic investigation. Ma'am has also contributed to research projects with organizations like Center for the Development of Advanced Computing, Bureau of Police Research and Development, and the Indian Council of Social Research, Social Science and Research. For her outstanding contribution, ma'am has received several prestigious honors, including the Union Home Minister Meritorious Awards in Forensic Psychology and the Senior Female Forensic Scientist Award in 2022 from NFSU and Dr. B.R. Sharma Memorial Lifetime Achievement Award in 2022. So with this, I just hand over the session to you, ma'am.
Thank you for such a nice introduction. So today, actually, I am not going to discuss about the other things, as today is the session of only Dr. Sanyal Madam. So I am going to discuss how we can assess the criminal behavior with the help of different psychological assessment tool, and how we can we will discuss about the madam's scale also about that. Okay, so just next. You know about the criminal behavior. I am not going to discuss about the many things. You know there are many criminal behavior, and it varies according to society to society also. It varies about the act also. So these are the theft, assault, fraud, cyber crime, organized crime, multiple crime. So all come in the category of the criminal. But how we will assess the criminality, that is important. In the society, if we will assess the criminality before some time, so we can assess and we can rehabilitate also. As the madam has done a lot of work on the rehabilitation, so I'll focus on there also. So these are the some criteria of the criminal behavior. Next. So there are the type of criminal behavior: violent crime, property crime, white collar crime, cyber crime, organized crime. So if you will see the characteristics of the criminal behavior: violation of legal norms, intentional criminal, harmful consequences of victims, punishable under law, and often influenced by environmental and psychological condition. Some criminal, they are doing some type of crime under any psychological condition also. Sometimes situational, they are doing the crime. So these are the different characteristics of the criminal behavior. Next. So today I am going to discuss how you will assess the criminal behavior on the basis of psychological assessment. Because psychological assessment is the systematic process of collecting and interpreting information about a person's mental functioning, personality, and behavior. So in criminal cases, assessment help to understand the offender mental status. With the help of psychological test, you can assess the mental status of that person. You can identify some psychological traits, because there are some typical psychological traits that are high in the particular in criminal person and in activities. So we can evaluate the risk of future offending, because you will see recidivism. The person, they are doing the crime again and again. So there are some risk assessment we can do. On that basis, we can rehabilitate, we can do the counseling of the criminal, because they are repeating the crime, they are the repeat offender. So with the help of test, we can evaluate the risk assessment also. If a suspect claims mental illness, sometimes the psychological test help determine whether symptoms are genuine or not. That is also the part of the psychological assessment. So psychological assessment may determine the mental status at the time of offense. Suppose if person is saying I am not mentally fit, but at the time of offense, what is the mental status of that person? That is important. And competency to stand trial, whether he is a competent or not. So we assess through the psychological test. And presence of mental disorder. Sometimes the subject claim they are mentally not fit, they are mentally ill. So they have some mental disorder, or they are just giving the faking, they are only imposing, they are claiming that thing. So personality characteristics also related to crime. Some persons are very prone towards crime, but some are not. Why? Because of some personality traits and risk of recidivism, repeating crime. So we are assessing with the help of psychological test. Next. So forensic psychologists, criminologists generally use multiple sources of information to improve accuracy. Because if we are saying something, so we have to collect some information from different source. For example, how we will collect the information? After conducting clinical interview, behavioral observation, psychological test, medical and criminal record, and reports from family or witness. A defendant claiming long-term depression, suppose. So whether he is hospitalized or he is taking any medicine, we will collect from hospital records. We will collect the information from the colleague, from the friend circle, from the family. So we are collecting the information from different source to make it accuracy of that information. Next. Clinical interview. We are conducting the clinical interview in a structured way. Because if suppose we are conducting interview, that is the normal way. If we are conducting clinical interview, means that is in different setting. If the person is claiming that he is not mentally fit, he has some mental disorder, so we are conducting the clinical interview. So we are taking the personal development history, family relationship, mental health history, criminal behavior and motives. So we are conducting the structured clinical interview. And many international, we have neuro psychiatric interview also. So accordingly that we are conducting the interview. Next. Behavioral observation. So when we are conducting interview, we are also observing the behavior of that person, body language, facial expression, his or emotional reaction, aggression or hospitality, cooperation with the examiner. A suspect who becomes extremely aggressive during questioning may show problems. Suppose he has a very impulsive behavior, he is not a normal, his mental status is not normal, he has some frustration, so he will show the very impulsivity during some crime is committed by the impulsive behavior also. So we observe during the interview time with the behavior observation. Next. Mental status. That is very much important to see the appearance and behavior, his her mood and affect, thought process, thought content, his perception, whether he has any hallucination, illusions or not, cognition and memory, memory is intact or not, his her cognition is good or not, he can think properly or not, insight, judgment. So we have some scale, mini mental status examination, cognitive assessment. On that basis, we are assessing the mental status examination of the subject. Next. So this is the tool. Next. Cognitive and intelligence testing also, we are taking some test. Accordingly that we assess the intelligence and cognitive function of the subject with memory, attention, reasoning, executive functioning of the subject. Next. Personality assessment, because some have antisocial traits. So we have some personality inventory. Accordingly that we assess the personality of that subject, whether he has antisocial traits. Emotional instability is also there. The person has very manipulation and lack of empathy, aggression, impulsivity. So we are assessing all these personality assessment with the different tests. We have Minnesota multiphasic personality inventory, we have PAI, Neo PIR. So different we have personality test. We, according to situation, according to time, we are applying the test to assess the personality of that subjects. Next. Projective personality test. We have Rorschach, TAT, SCT. So we can understand the unconscious thought and minds. What the person is doing, consciously he is thinking something, but unconscious thought and emotions are different. So with the help of projective test, we assess the unconscious things also about the subject. Next. Assessment of malingering. That is also a main test, how they are trying to do malingering. So we are some test also for that, and we use Miller forensic assessment for the symptom test for this particular malingering. Next. Now we are making the criminal psychological profiling also. Psychological profiling is a forensic technique used to identify possible suspect by analyzing crime scene evidence and behavioral pattern. On the basis of crime scene, we can assess the offender can be like this. Suppose there is organized crime, disorganized crime, there's something how the body is there, suppose in murder case, how the body is there, weapon is there or not, how the situation is there. So on that basis, some serial killing is there, serial rape cases are there. So there, on the basis of crime scene characteristics, we are making the offender can be like this, not exact, possible suspect. Correct? Next. So this is the way of purpose of criminal profiling, to narrow down probable suspect, because on the basis of crime scene, we narrow down these can be the suspect. It's not they are 100% suspect, they can be. So we are narrowing the 10, 20, something like that. After that, with the help of interrogating technique, we are trying to find out who is the actual perpetrator of that particular crime. Next. The concept of criminal propensity, that is the main theme of Dr. Sanyal madam. So this is mainly refer to the likelihood or tendency of an individual to engage in any criminal behavior. It reflects the person's attitudes towards crime, self-control, moral values, and risk-taking behavior. So this concept is widely discussed in development criminology and psychological criminology. So typical dimension measure this concept of criminal propensity: self-control, level of aggression, attitudes toward law, peer influence, risk-seeking behavior, and moral disagreement. Next. The criminal propensity scale developed by Dr. Sanyal is a standardized 39-item psychometric tool designed to measure antisocial behavior and criminal inclination in adolescents and adults both. So target population, it is used for adolescents also and for adult offender also. In Indian settings, it is recognized as one of the first scale of its type, specifically adopted and standardized for the Indian population. So for Indian population already this test is standardized, and many students and researchers already have done. So we can use this test on the Indian population, and for other population also you can use. The criminal propensity scale is a psychological assessment tool used in criminology and forensic psychology to measure an individual tendency to engage in criminal or antisocial behavior. It evaluates personality traits, attitude, and behavioral pattern that may indicate a propensity towards criminal activity. Next. This scale is a standardized psychological scale designed to identify the degree to which a person possesses characteristics associated with criminal behavior. Generally, what we are saying some person have some characteristics that is mostly connected with the criminal behavior. So with the scale, you can identify, because it help in assessing antisocial attitude. If the person has antisocial attitude, he will do, probability is more to commit the crime. Aggression and impulsivity, lack of empathy, disregard for law and authority, and risk-taking tendencies. So we can measure all these categories with the help of this scale. This scale is commonly used in correctional institution, probation services also, forensic assessment, and criminology research also. Next. So typical criminal propensity scale measures several psychological dimensions: impulsivity, acting without thinking about consequences, that come in the category of the impulsivity. Aggression, tendency toward violent or hostile behavior. Antisocial attitude, negative attitudes towards social rules. Risk-taking behavior, lack of guilt or remorse. These are the characteristics we can measure with this scale. These are the several psychological dimensions. Next. So this test generally uses questionnaire format. Here we have Likert type response, strongly agree or strongly disagree, and self-report items are also here. Example statement may include rules are mean to be broken. I often act without thinking. It is acceptable to break the law if it benefits me. So the scores are then summed to determine the level of the criminal propensity. Next. So low score, moderate score, and high score. So we are scoring like this, and this is the interpretation. Low tendency towards criminal behavior, low score shows moderate, some antisocial tendencies, and high score, high likelihood of criminal propensity. Next. So the CPS criminal propensity scale is used for several purposes. The main purpose, risk assessment, to predict the possibility of future criminal behavior. This is very much important because in every prison nowadays, many prisons, they are doing the study. Even MHA has told me also to do this study for the risk assessment, because the people, they have the possibility to do the any crime, they can commit any crime, so we can assess also. Offender classification we can do, we can categorize offender based on their risk level. And rehabilitation planning, we can do the, we can conduct the rehabilitation program in the prisons. And we are doing the research also in criminology to find out, to factor which factor influence the more criminal behavior. Next. So the criminal propensity scale is important because it helps in early identification of at-risk individual. It assess in offender rehabilitation program. It support risk management in criminal justice system, and it contributes to crime prevention strategies. Because for the recidivism, we are using this scale to find out, and we can do whether we can do the rehabilitation or not. So the criminal propensity scale measure how strongly a person shows personality traits and attitudes linked with criminal behavior, and it helping expert assess the risk of offending or reoffending. Next. Some case studies. Next. You know Nirbhaya case. You know about this gang rape and murder in Delhi. What was the criminological insight? Gender-based violence, social attitudes towards women, and urban safety challenges. So application of CPS is a group influence suspectability, aggression and sadistic attitude, moral disengagement, and impulsivity and poor self-control. Next. You see Harshad Mehta case. This is the economic offense, white collar crime. So here, what is the criminological insight? Financial greed, weak regulatory system, corporate crime motivation. So application of CPS is here, high risk taking orientation, financial opportunity and greed, rationalization of unethical act, and confidence boarding on narcissist traits. Next. Jamtara, you know, nowadays the cyber crime maximum people are doing. In Jharkhand, India, they are doing maximum cyber fraud and phishing scam. So what is the criminological insight? Is a youth involvement, technology misuse, and organized cyber crime network. So application of CPS is here, manipulative and deception behavior, risk-taking behavior, moral disagreement, and opportunist criminal orientation. So this scale is very useful in different type of crime. So here I focus you on rape case, financial crime, and Jamtara cyber crime. Next. Telgis, if you will see the Telgis stamp paper case, that was a very famous case. So there was the organized crime network, institutional corruption was there, financial crime was there. So if you will see the application of CPS, high instrumental aggression, non-violent exploitation, risk-taking behavior, low ethical restraint. So how they are doing and how the scale is applicable in different type of cases at that time. I explaining that thing also. Next. So this is the, thank you. And what I want to say, there are different psychological assessment tools to assess the criminal behavior, and for that how we can use, how it is useful. It is useful for the risk assessment, it is useful for rehabilitation also. And as the madam has developed the scale, that scale is fit for the Indian population. It is a standardized scale, and it is useful for the rehabilitation, for correctional services, for criminal behavior, and for the rehabilitation purpose also. So thank you for this. Today the session was only total I devoted to Dr. Sanyal's madam's scale. So I focus only on that, how I can use and how it should be used in different type of crime. Whether suppose we are using the economic crime, organized crime, or any sexual offenses there, so we can use that scale to understand the criminal behavior exactly. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Asha. I was intently listening. And I think, today, I tell you from my inner self, I'll be able to sleep very peacefully at night. That I have you people with me. I'm not alone. And one thing is, Asha, because I've always been in a habit of listening, reading, understanding criminal behavior whenever there's anything, whether it's a newspaper or a TV. I think you will see the case that is sensitizing me of that lady who is a high CEO, return of income monthly is in crores, both the husband and the wife, they have different companies. And she, being a mother, slit the throat of her son, 2 years
Yes.
son.
Mm.
And without any remorse and guilt, I watched very closely the actions. She pushed the body into the bag and went to deport it in Goa.
Yeah.
And I was watching the facial, you people are forensic scientists, will know better. I was continuously watching the facial expression as a mother. कहीं पर भी blink मिले, कहीं पे भी एक आंसू है, कुछ नहीं.
Nothing. Yeah.
That's why, my appeal is, I'm not approaching the court or anything. Forensic science laboratories, they can purchase this, as you mentioned, all the tests that you people apply. Why
Yeah.
not use this along with it as an aid? When you are having KT, when you are having Rorschach, when you are have this CPQ scale also. So this will bring out the personality correlates. And this lady, to my mind, Asha,
Yeah.
if I'm not biased or thing, she is a psychopathic. Somewhere there is a mental disorder. No matter how much the discord is with the husband, she will not kill her son in such a merciless manner. Imagine
Correct.
करो, खून को काट रही है, उसे बैंड करके ले जा रही है.
हाँ, बिल्कुल सही. हाँ.
हाँ. Thank you very much, Asha, once again. Thank you for
Thank you.
highlighting my scale and bringing it to the limelight. Thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, ma'am, for really giving us an insight about the psychological assessment of criminality. Sorry. So it was really a wonderful session. And with this, ma'am, we would like to present you the e-certificate, which in the grateful recognition of your invaluable contribution as a speaker at one-day workshop on understanding criminal behavior with the help of criminal propensity scale. So kindly do accept this, ma'am.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank
And with this, we have come to an end of this workshop. So everything which is started is going to have an end also. So with this, I'll take the permission from all the speakers, those who are present today. Subra ma'am, Shada Prasad sir, Asha ma'am, Ranjit sir. So if you allow me, there are few questions in the chat box. If we can take that.
Yes, you can take. No issue.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. So, Shubhra ma'am, the last question
Yeah.
that was there, which I actually asked. Just give me a second. Yeah. So, with all the personality traits we got to know through the propensity scale, can the CPS be used to pinpoint the cause of commission of crime or the trigger?
I'm not getting it.
I'll just allow the participants to ask the question directly. So,
Yeah,
Gaurav,
that will be better.
yeah,
Mhm.
Gaurav, if you could just unmute yourself and ask the question now.
श्योर मैम, थैंक यू.
Yeah.
मैम, हमने इस क्रिमिनल प्रोपेंसिटी स्केल से ये जाना है कि क्या क्या पर्सनालिटी ट्रेट्स हो सकते हैं, एंड उनके अंदर के क्या फैक्टर्स अफेक्ट कर सकते हैं, या क्या टेंडेंसी रही होगी विक्टिम या ऑफेंडर की क्राइम करने के रिलेटेड। बट इतने सारे फैक्टर्स है क्राइम के, जैसे कि इन्वायरमेंटल फैक्टर भी है, साइकोलॉजिकल फैक्टर्स भी है क्राइम के। तो क्रिमिनल प्रोपेंसिटी स्केल से क्या हम एग्जैक्टली पिन पॉइंट कर सकते हैं कि उस मोमेंट पर, उस हीट ऑफ द मोमेंट पर क्या कॉज रहा होगा क्राइम कमिट करने का, या ट्रिगर क्या रहा होगा क्राइम कमिट करने का?
अच्छा, तुम गौरव हो? अच्छा, मैं ये बता रही हूँ, द स्केल में जो पर्सनालिटी कोरिलेट्स, द पर्सनालिटी डायनेमिक्स, आपने इन्वायरमेंट की बात की, सोसाइटी की बात की, ये सब मिलके जो है पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट में मदद करती है, ठीक है। और सीपीक्यू वही दिखा रहे हैं कि एक इंसान में जैसे जैसे वो बड़ा होते जा रहा है, उसमें ये पर्सनालिटी डायनेमिक्स बनते जा रहे हैं। हम सब में है, मैं बार बार रिपीट कर रही हूँ, हम लोग सब में क्रिमिनल टेंडेंसी, हमारे पास इमोशनल बैलेंस है, आई एम ओके, यूर ओके भी है। अब जब ये जो है पर्सनालिटी जो है वो ये स्टिग्मेटा एक जगह फिक्सेटेड हो जाता है, मतलब एक व्यक्ति यही सोचता है मैं जो कर रहा हूँ वो सही है, दूसरे लोग गलत हैं, ये बिलीफ आ जाते हैं, ये जाके सेल्फ में जाता है। ये आईडी जो इंस्टीट्यूशनल ड्राइव शुरुआत में होते जाता है, वो रिफ्लेक्ट होता है ऑन साइकोटिज्म। मैं जो है क्रिमिनल प्रोपेंसिटी स्केल का जो मैं दोहरा रही हूँ, बार बार बोल रही हूँ, ये सभी ट्रेट्स जो दिखाया गया है इस सभी के अंदर मौजूद है। किंतु जब वो फिक्सेटेड हो जाता है, एक जगह जम जाता है, मैं ही करूंगा, मैं ही जानता हूँ, आई एम ओके, तब वो जाके वायलेंस में कन्वर्ट होता है, अग्रेशन में कन्वर्ट होता है। उसको अगर कोई ना बोलने के लिए साहस करता है तो उसको मारने लग जाता है। दिस इज नोन एज साइकोटिक बिहेवियर। तो ये सब जो है पर्सनालिटी ट्रेट्स जो है कोरिलेट्स है एक दूसरे के साथ, और इनको अगर बचपन में ही, जब धीरे धीरे बच्चा बड़ा हो रहा है, करेक्शन नहीं किया गया, तो ये जो है मेच्योर्ड होके अडल्टहुड में स्टैब्लिश हो जाता है। अब एक चीज और मैं यहाँ पे बताना चाहती हूँ, आजकल के बच्चों में मैंने ये गैदर किया, जो वायलेंस देखा जा रहा है वो वायलेंस से ऐसे ही आ रहा है, ये वायलेंस उनके घर से आ रहा है। वो घर में देख रहे हैं कि माँ बाप लड़ रहे हैं, अब्यूज कर रहे हैं, मारपीट कर रहे हैं, एंड ही इज स्टन्ड राइट फ्रॉम द डे वन, ही इज डेज्ड, ही इज स्टन्ड, ही इज फियर्ड कि क्या हो रहा है। और सबसे बड़ी चीज है, एक सेंस ऑफ इनसिक्योरिटी आ जाती है। अब ये बच्चे जब बड़ा हो रहा है, इसके अंदर वही वायलेंस इनग्रेन्ड हो गया और वही साइकोटिज्म की जा रहा है, आई एम ओके, यू आर नॉट ओके, क्योंकि ये सीखा है, इसके नॉर्म्स हैं, इसके मॉरल वैल्यू हो गए। मॉरल वैल्यू कुछ नहीं हो रहा है, यही हो रहा है, ट्रांसफर फ्रॉम द पेरेंट्स टू द चाइल्ड। और फिर वो जो है जाके, जब वो एक्सट्रोवर्ट भी हो सकता है, घूमेगा फिरेगा, कभी कभी आप देखेंगे यूथ आर हिटिंग यंग बॉय जस्ट बिकॉज ही हैज नॉट एग्री, रोड रेज कहिए, यूथ रेज कहिए, मार दे रहे हैं, हॉस्टल में मारपीट हो रही है, एक लड़का मर जा रहा है। हु आर दिस पीपल हु हिटिंग? दे आर वंस हु आर कमिंग फ्रॉम ब्रोकन होम्स। मैं ब्रोकन होम्स ट्रीट करूंगी, और वो जो है वायलेंस साइकोटिज्म में चला जाता है। तो जो हमने क्रिमिनल प्रोपेंसिटी स्केल में दिखाया, ये मान के चलिए दो तीन सेलिएंट फीचर्स कि ये ट्रेट्स हम सब में मौजूद है। और क्रिमिनल टेंडेंसी जो बात कह रही हूँ, ये जो है हम पैदा नहीं होते लेके, ये हमारे कुछ नहीं पर्सनालिटी के इंस्टिंक्चुअल ड्राइव है, जो धीरे धीरे हम जो है समाज में घूमते हैं, पढ़ाई लिखाई कर रहे हैं, रिलीज जगह जा रहे हैं, पीयर ग्रुप बना रहे हैं, वो धीरे धीरे चेंज होकर सोशलाइज हो जाता है इनटू सेल्फ ईगो। किंतु जब सोशलाइज हो रहा है, किस तरह से सोशलाइज हो रहा है वो भी बहुत मानी हुई बात है। क्योंकि एक सिचुएशन में दो लड़का खड़ा है, एक लड़का निकल के दूसरे को थप्पड़ मार रहा है, वैसे दूसरा लड़का चुपचाप है, कह रहा मत मारो, वो गलत में हो सकता है, उसको समझने की कोशिश करो। ये इंडिविजुअल बिहेवियर डिफरेंस क्यों है? इंडिविजुअल डिफरेंस बिहेवियर इसलिए है कि पर्सनैलिटी ट्रेट्स में कहीं पे डिफरेंस है, ये मेरा कहना है। तो ये जो है आपका कहना कि क्रिमिनल्स में ये है हमारे अंदर नहीं है, ये गलत है। These are all personalities which are present very much in us, but we are keeping them under control. When there is low psychotism, high extroversion, आप देखेंगे a person will become a leader of the country. And then, a person may become a high politician. But जब high psychotism हो जाता है, high extroversion होता है, तो politicals में भी जो है turbulence होता है या नहीं? तो ये सब चीजें जो है शिफ्ट होती रहती है, कनेक्शन शिफ्ट होते रहते हैं। पर मान की जो बैलेंस बीच में देखिए ना, एक बैलेंस है, इमोशनल बैलेंस, वो हमको कंट्रोल करके रखते हैं, हमको जो है मच्योर रखते हैं, और हमको आगे बढ़ने देते हैं, क्योंकि हम कहते रहते हैं आप भी ठीक है, हम भी ठीक है, ये चलता है। क्लियर?
Got it, ma'am.
सो इनको जो है बाइस्ड वे में मत लीजिए, इनको जनरल फिनोमेना में लीजिए। फिक्सेशन हो जाने से ही प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है, और ये चीज माँ बाप को बच्चे के अंदर देखना चाहिए शुरू में। सबसे बड़ी चीज होती है स्कूलों में, एक जमाने में हम लोग के टाइम पे मॉरल वैल्यू के क्लासेस होते थे, गाइडेंस होते थे, टीचर्स मेंटर्स होते थे। हम माँ बाप से न कह के टीचर्स के सामने बैठ के बातें करते थे। अब तो चीजें है ही नहीं। So we require in the school education these systems, as we are noticing that children are running away, children are going into crime, children are committing suicides, children are hitting, children are doing rash driving. We must understand it's high time that some steps need to be taken by the policymakers, by the educationists. कि स्कूल में बच्चों को मेंटर दिया जाए, जो मेंटर उसके गाइड करते रहे, उसके बिहेवियर को ऑब्जर्व करे। आज तक दोनों पेरेंट्स काम कर रहे हैं, बच्चा अकेले रह जा रहा है। दिस इज द नीड ऑफ द डे। ओके,
Yes, ma'am.
थैंक
Thank
यू।
you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for answering the question, ma'am, with a detailed way. So, is there anyone else who wants to unmute yourself and ask the question? So, there is another question, ma'am. From Akriti, she would like to seek your guidance regarding the procedure to obtain permission to interact with prisoners for the purpose of gathering information and for academic research. So, like, she's just willing to know that how we can get the permission to interact with prisoners.
See, the procedure is like this: whichever university you are in, and they are asking you to do the research on criminals or the criminals' families or whatever it is, you have to seek permission from the prison department. First and foremost, your guide or your teacher has to write a letter. That letter has to go through the university to the IG prison. And then from the IG prison, once the permission is obtained, then you can go anywhere and do the study. But they have certain rules and regulations which you have to maintain. Like one, you must not ask any sensitive question. Second, any answers that you have given, you should not publicize because whatever documents you receive, you have to show them before publication. But first and foremost, it has to go from your university to the prison department.
Thank you so much for answering the question, ma'am. She has another part of the question as well, where she's asking, can this scale will also be helpful in testing the parasites offender traits? I hope I pronounced the word correctly. It's
I don't know.
parasites offender traits.
I think Dr. Asha can help you there. I am not able to get that on Dr.
Okay.
Rajit.
So,
Because
Asha,
this scale at the outset studies, the behavior and preventive measure that can be adopted, right?
yes.
That is it.
So, Asha ma'am, if you could just help us to get the answer for this question for Akriti. The question is basically about the parasites offender traits.
When you assess that the person has some criminal activities or criminal behavior, with this propensity scale we are assessing this thing. Now you are coming with this particular criminal trait or this particular criminal trait, so for that you have to go for the different test, correct? Because this is the categorization of just criminal behavior. I explain in detail. And when comes in the category of the criminal, there are so many type of criminal, many suggestive things, temperament, other things. Nowadays a different type of crime. So for that reason you have to go for different type of traits, you have to go for different skills. Okay.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for answering the question. So there is one more question from Muskan. She would like to ask that, could cultural norms combined with personality traits like introversion lead investigators to misinterpret normal behavior as deception during interrogation?
No. Why? Because the expert, he knows. Suppose if the person is innocent, he has also nervousness. If person is involved, he is also nervous. So that is the expertise to differentiate between the nervousness of innocent and the nervousness of the deceptive persons. So that's why we are trained, we have taken the training, we know the psychology. Because every time, if there is a if the deceptive person reply, he is also denying, and truthful person is also denying, but there is a difference. So this is the nervousness both has, but that is the expertise of the psychologist to differentiate between the nervousness of innocent and the nervousness of the deceptive persons.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. So, Asha ma'am, I'm sorry, this is a direct question for you only. So, how should we effectively utilize these information being law students?
By law students.
No. There is an Ashik who is, I guess, BA LLB student of first year. So he's
Correct.
asking you that how should we utilize these informations as a law student?
As a law student, it's a very useful. Suppose law student, he has to understand, because whether he will stand for defense or whether he will stand for the government prosecution, correct? So if he understand the real behavior, criminal behavior, it will help for him for the delivery any justice. And suppose he is also standing for as a defense lawyer also, if he knows the exact criminal behavior, he knows the personality assessment, he knows the traits of that person, he will understand how the person is manipulating, how he is doing the malingering, how he is doing the try to manipulate the situation. That will be helpful for him also. So he has to understand, because in many court I have given the lecture to understand the judiciary, also to understand the criminal behavior. That will help them for delivering any at the time of justice. It will really help them to understand the behavior of the persons.
Yeah. So thank you so much, ma'am, for answering the question. There is one more question from Khushi. Why do you think sexual crime are rising nowadays? So, like the rapid rise of rape and sexual harassment.
As I know, because of the more and more technology use, the people are more sadistic. They are not, because nowadays the social engineering is very much required. Because if you will see, the 4 person are sitting in one room, all are busy in mobile, they are not talking, so they are not discussing any issues. You have no time. So we are more involved only in technology. No human relations and emotions are involved. So because of the technology, you see, if you will start to scroll the mobile, क्या होता है 4-5 के बाद you will see only that type of movie. So when they are watching that type of movie just for fun, they want to do that thing. This is the basic things. कोई intention nahi, nothing. Just only watching. Okay, chalo, we will also do like this just for fun. So that is a one cause. Other cause is the sociological cause, because the social engineering is required in college and universities and everywhere. The people are more concerned with the technology. They are giving the PPT, and no teacher and human interaction is not there, because we are losing the human relation. We are more technology. The person should use technology, but with the human relation. So because of that reason, this type of crime is maximum. And there is a full industries. There are the full industries for this thing, and they are making so many videos and everything is there, and they are getting money. And people, just because if you will analyze the data, maximum the category of this thing is from 16 to 20, 35 maximum. They are in that category. After that, they are enough mature and they understand. So this is the real thing. What I feel, I don't know what is the actual cause, but what I feel, I am telling this thing.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for answering the questions. So, Shubhra ma'am and Sanya ma'am, if you both allow me. Actually, there are many questions, but if you both allow me, there is one person who want to just unmute yourself and ask the question. So, Payas,
I
I
can
hope.
see the
Yeah,
questions. I
hi.
can see the question, Jaya. It is talking about serial killers.
Yeah, ma'am.
And
There is one
if
question
you,
from
if you,
Summer also about the serial killer.
if you permit me, I have a slide which I'm not having here. I can send it to you and ask. You can share it with him. The person who is killing, Asha will agree with me. I'm not, in forensic science. The serial killers, they have a typical pattern of killing. If I'm right,
I agree,
Asha will agree. Yeah, and they choose the targets of the same type, the vulnerable groups, the targets, and they kill in the like manner, maybe killing at night, maybe killing a lonely person on the road. But the age factor, the sex factor, the situational factor, the intention, they are more alike, as I feel. And therefore, the type of personality, they are labeled as psychotics. And now I don't know, Asha will help me, because if you diagnose, there are some mental problems. Mental health is there. They
Yes,
are
yes.
serial killers who get thrill, satisfaction, not simply, somewhere down the line in the subconscious mind, maybe a vendetta, regarding women. And it has happened. There was a case long time back, which I studied, when I was studying psychology, criminal psychology, that a man in America was caught. He used to go into hostels or into any place where single girls used to stay, used to befriend them, be friendly with them, and then he used to kill them and come away. Then he used to look for a next target. And it so happened that he entered into a girls' hostel, and he was taking one girl after another to another room while they were sleeping deep, and he was slitting their throat and killing. One girl in the midway, she just smuggled herself under a bed and she watched what was happening. And gradually, when he did and he walked away, she reported to the police and he was caught. He was labeled also as something. So, psychosomatic disorder इसे कहते हैं, which Asha will be able to explain better.
Yes, madam, you are
And
right. You are right.
है ना?
I
तो
agree. I agree
ये
with you.
केस था. Same target, same situation, Asha, same age, कोई
Correct.
सेक्स नहीं है. तो उसका जो डायग्नोसिस किया कि राइट इन द डे वन ही हेटेड विमेन.
वो सेम पैटर्न को ही फॉलो करेगा, सेम वे से करेगा टू टेक द रिवेंज.
सेम
एक
सेक्स होती है.
हाँ,
सेम
फॉर दिस थिंग. सो डिफरेंट कैटेगरी है. मर्डर कर रहा है, सेक्सुअल ऑफेंस कर रहा है, एनीथिंग,
हाँ
सेम पैटर्न, सेम थिंग, सेम टारगेट.
हाँ
Because of the mental thing. Correct.
या डायग्नोसिस किया था somewhere down the line he hated his mother because she always, she was single mother. She always treated him badly, and that's why that vendetta and revenge transferred emotional displacement कहते हैं to
Yeah.
these men. ये
जी.
serial killer.
Correct.
So thank
I
you so
think
much.
now we
Yeah.
speakers are also tired now, sir.
Yes, ma'am. So there was one last person who just unmuted yourself and I wanted to ask the question. So Payas, I hope I'm
Yeah,
pronouncing your
hello.
name correctly.
No, it's Pius.
Yeah, it's
And
fine.
good evening, everyone. As Sanyal Madam was talking about a case of a filicide where, like, a mother killed his own, like, her own child. Similar case we got in our lab where mother killed, her 2-year-old daughter and slit throat of another child who was only 10 months old. And but the second child was alive, and the first child got like murdered by her own mother. So, and she even committed suicide by slitting her own throat. So it was again when we talked to her and conducted psychological assessment on the lady. I could sense that she had no remorse of the crime she has committed. Like the madam said, that the criminals are especially mothers who are committing such crimes are not, getting the feeling of remorse. So, ma'am, is there any way of, because since she's a lady and a mother, and if there is any way of, building that remorse, the feeling of remorse in them, so society would be better with that. Ma'am, any insight about that?
If you ask me from behavioral scientist, I will say that first and foremost, when she is picking up her courage to kill her own child in such a brutal manner, why is she doing? What is the reason behind? Is it absolute desperation? Is it that she was feeling that she has been sidelined? Is it that she was having, killing her own child who she has given birth, having no response? Is a psychopathic behavior. It is a psychopathic behavior where you will find, forensic scientists will agree with me that there is something mental dejection. Mentally, the person is thrown herself out because if she's having no remorse after doing it, I feel as a behavioral scientist that she is a psychopath. And the point is this, if she's doing on the spur of a moment, Suddenly she is doing it. Then I can say it is emotional outburst because the husband was brutally cheating her or she was totally thrown out of emotional control. But planning to kill her own child and not showing remorse, if she had planned and if she had not planned and done it on the spur of moment, she would have wept. She would have cried. But planning to do it gradually and not showing remorse is not something very sound. It is absolutely a psychotic behavior. It is psychotic, it is extreme. Like, killing the husband after a long time, that is planned. I showed it to you on the scale. That is introversion and neuroticism. So if a person is high on neuroticism, then again the question comes, will she regret or he will regret? They will not regret because they have gone to the high pitch. And then there is clinical treatment is required, which Asha will say, because there is the forensic scientist coming in who have to say and diagnose whether their simple treatment will do by voice analyzer or by lie detector or anything facial, or they need to be hospitalized and given therapeutic treatment. That Asha will be. But I think from my viewpoint, they are stick to their work. When there's no regret, then they are not mentally sound. Asha?
Yes, I agree, madam. I agree. Because you are telling the real thing, and Pius, she is also working in lab. And Pius, I think you agree with the madam.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely, madam has given
Because
such a
yeah. So this is actually madam has the long experience, and on that basis, whatever she is telling. So, and as you are telling how you can correct that correction is required from the society. As I understand, the correction is required from the society and from the parents. If they are seeing the child is doing the behavior is like this, immediately they have to go for some counselor, some counseling psychologist, some behavioral psychologist also is required for that time. That because of that reason, we are focusing on physical health. We are not focusing on mental health. If you will observe 40-50% crimes because of the mental health issues, because of their behavior. So that's time it's a duty of the parents to understand, to observe the behavior of their child, and if they find anything is not correct, immediately they have to take the advice from the counselor, and they have to take the counseling session for their child. Correct?
Exactly.
I think now you have to close this thing because the questions are limitless.
Yes, obviously, ma'am.
I'm sitting since morning.
And from morning I am traveling. I just
this topic is
it is well taken, and Dr. Ranjit has given me the opportunity. It's well taken, and I really feel happy. I'm sitting since morning, and I'm hoping, Asha, the takeaway from this program is criminal propensity scale banao ya jo bhi banao. Crime is on the rise everywhere.
Correct.
Now juveniles are joining crime like anything. एक छोटा लड़की 3 साल का उसको sexually abuse कर रहे हैं by juveniles. This is something unthinkable. और वो क्यों हो रहा है आशा? Because that sense of belongingness is missing in the society today. Who am I? What if I do wrong? What will happen to my family prestige?
Correct.
They are not concerned. Because parents are not concerned about the growth of the children. Children are concerned about the image of the parents. Yeah. So there is the point we have to fixate. That sense of belonging.
Yes.
Correct.
So thank you so much, ma'am, and Subra Sanyal ma'am, Asha ma'am, Shada Prasad sir, Ranjit sir, for making this day to be a learning day, I would say. So as we come to close of this insightful one-day workshop on understanding criminal behavior with the help of the criminal propensity scale, we extend our sincere gratitude to our distinguished speakers, Dr. Subra Sanyal ma'am, Shri Sharda Prasad sir, Professor Dr. Asha Srivastava ma'am, and definitely Ranjit sir as well. So all of you have given great knowledge and shared your experience about this field, and your perspective have enriched our understanding of criminal behavior, forensic assessments, and the practical relevance of the criminal propensity scale in contemporary investigation. We also thank all the participants and you can say who enthusiasms, engagements made this workshop meaningful and productive, I would say. The discussion today we have not only depended on our academic insight, but also strengthened the bridge between the forensic practice, or you can say criminal behavior, and the law enforcement and other things. So let us carry forward the ideas and knowledge gained today to enhance the ethical practice, scientific investigation, and informed decision making in the field of the forensic and behavioral study. So with the appreciation and optimism for continued learning and collaboration, we formally conclude this workshop. Thank you everyone for joining this workshop. And I just hope you have gained some knowledge, understand something, and learn something from all the speakers that who have joined today. And as I would like to say that Ranjit sir is not able to join for now because he is occupied or he has some network glitch. So on his behalf, I thank Subra Sanyal ma'am, Shraddha Prasad sir, and Asha Srivastava ma'am for joining today and sharing your knowledge and everything.
So now we are
I
closing.
just want to say
Special
something.
thanks to Dr. Sanyal madam.
Yeah, thank you very much, Asha. I just want to take this opportunity to thank you all, for just my requesting and your coming. Dr. Shraddha Prasad ji, sir, has always been my support. You, Asha, and Dr. Ranjit, he said within 1 minute, he said, yes, ma'am, we go for it. In any seminar or session, I used to say in the past also, and I say now also, Asha, that there is no conclusion, no end. This is the beginning. This is the beginning. If we could send awareness to our students, to our family members, to our researchers, then only I think the criminal propensity scale or any test in the righteous manner can be used properly. So with these words, I thank you once again, all of you, from my behalf also, for being with me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you.
So thank you so much, everyone. And this is a small announcement for everyone. You can download your certificate of participation for today's workshop from our official website. And you can just use your registered email ID that you have used to register for the events. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining this workshop. Thank you once again, Asha ma'am and Subra
Thank you.
ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, your insights has actually helped us to learn a lot today.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you, ma'am. Amazingly beautiful session. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very happy. Thank you very
ma'am.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We get so much knowledge from you.
Thank you very much. How sweet of you. You people can always be in touch with me. You just ask Jaya to give you my phone number, all of you. Anytime you are free, you can call me. Why?
Thank
Okay,
you.
ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So
Thank
I'll
you.
take permission of both of you, Asha ma'am and Subra Sanyal ma'am, that can I end the meeting for the day?
Yeah, please do end it.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much, ma'am. Thank you.